Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence back at it. So this video is going to be about what I think people need to understand very clearly. There is no Team Jesus 1 and Team Jesus 2. And the reason why I say this, what inspired this message is someone, what's her name, Caroline Levitt, the main lady for the White House, that woman, right? She said, "Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, this is Holy Day and Holy Week." But see, those people serve God during what they call Holy Week, but then they don't really serve the Lord every week. It's just Holy Week, and it's time. And we ain't gonna let people talk about Jesus in the context that they serve Him, because His real servants, and only the highest ranking servants know this, His real servants are jealous over Him too. The Bible says God is a jealous God, right? But we know that's not net toxic jealousy. It's a jealousy that, in the definition, that is my servant, that is my God, and we're jealous over our God. The highest ranking soldiers will tell you that, because you don't serve Him, but then you talking about you're with Him. You're not His companion. You don't really serve Him. You only say it when it's convenient for you. And so God's true servants gonna come out and say, no, that's our Savior, our Lord and Savior. See, there is no Jesus Team 1 and Jesus Team 2. And this is what I've been telling y'all all the time. So in this war against me, you can't go find some other people with Jesus. It's not. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Even if they're saved, even if they are Christians, you're not gonna see America make it. It's still gonna go down the same way. So no matter how much you pray, no matter how much you do, this country has gay and lesbian marriage in the whole country. And the only reason I'm saying this, I'm not saying this out of hate for gay people or hate for transsexuals or hate for the whole gay community, put it like that. I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it for the reason to understand that God is holy. That's not blaspheme now. That's not blaspheme God. Okay, so God is holy. God is holy. God ain't got nothing to do with that. And if it's a Christian country, then God is going to be in the laws. Okay? His word is going to be in the laws. You're not going to have gay marriage. And this is a Christian country. You're not going to have gay and lesbian marriage and offer everything to everybody. See, America offers everything to everybody. That's the problem. You got to stand for something or you stand for nothing. So you can't stand for gay marriage over here, and that's even the Republicans. But you might try to low key act like, well, the Republicans really don't believe in homosexuality and lesbianism. But they vote for those things to happen. They just don't agree with transsexuality and the trannies going into the sports and things. But they still they still will voucher as Republicans for gay and lesbian rights. Now, come on. We know that, right? Okay. Because you have many gay and lesbian Republicans. Now, come on. Okay, so let's differentiate the difference between where it looks like the Republicans are against transsexual athletes playing in opposite gender sports, but that's just one issue. When you look at the ground level, the ground roots or the foundational issues, they are all for, as Republicans, the basic homosexual rights and lesbian rights. Okay, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, would not vote in America. Now, if this was a Christian country, Jesus Christ would vote in America. Jesus is not going to vote in America because his vote cannot be used to empower a politician to do evil. His vote cannot be used, or let's put it this way, his vote cannot discredit him and his righteousness. So if Jesus was here, if Jesus was here, he could not vote, and then his vote is used to empower someone that does that pass gay laws and lesbian laws. Jesus couldn't be a part of it. Literally, like spiritually, his spirituality. You could not see Jesus vote for a politician that helps gay laws and gay politicians and gay rights and gay stuff. He can't do it. Jesus couldn't do it. So how can you say when you're in the, this is the real, see, basically what happened is as time went by, the lines were drawn in the sand. The lines was drawn in the sand. Who you serve? Who do you serve? This isn't the old America. This is the America now where it's getting down to the nitty gritty of the end of the world, and the devil is crafty, and he can make laws and do things to make people choose their side with him. It's not just the devil just sits there. He does things to make you choose to be on his side. So in the case of this, okay, you know, what you have to understand about America, and a lot of people ain't gonna like this, but gay and lesbian marriage laws has been used merely for Satan to just get people on his side. Okay? To get this country in error, to get this country on the wrong track. You can't have gay marriage in the country. I'm telling you as a prophet, you can't have gay marriage in this country and call yourself a Christian community. It doesn't work like that. If you don't see it in the Bible, do you know what the Bible says about homosexuality and in same gender sexuality? What does it say? It's not natural. It's not natural. It is a sin, right? Okay, so then if you put that in the laws, when we know God, everybody who's intelligent knows God is a God of laws, right? So can you imagine making laws that are sinful when he gave commandments? When God gave commandments, can you imagine making sinful laws and when God gave commandments to a nation? Maybe you didn't know what the 10 Commandments was for. It was for a whole country. The 10 Commandments were not for just a few people. The 10 Commandments was for a nation, a whole nation. You understand, right? So it wasn't just, because if I don't say this, you know, maybe you haven't been taught properly. The 10 Commandments was not just for a couple guys over here. Or we're going to just post this up over here and everybody can look at it. It was, the 10 Commandments were for an entire nation of people. Okay? So from God giving commandments to an entire nation of people. See that part? The 10 Commandments. We're looking at the nature of God. That's what we're doing. We're not being so smart we're stupid and talking about whether it's the Old Testament versus the New Testament. We're talking about the nature of God. This is why I want to do a whole video on this. Because when you become a grown man or a grown woman and you're mature in your thinking, you begin to look in the Bible when you want to know what is right and wrong. You look in the Bible to see the nature of God and how God does things, right? So with the nature of God, with as far as the 10 commandments, he made it very clear what he wanted a nation to do and not do, right? So then can you imagine after we clearly see the 10 commandments was for a nation. We see it was for a nation, right? I made that very clear. Can you imagine God, which it was important to God to give commandments to a nation? Can you imagine God allowing sin in the commandments, in 10 commandments? He gave laws to a nation. Can you imagine him putting sin, and you knew it mattered to God because he gave the commandments for the nation. So so we understand this is important. It's important what laws are made. Any politician should already know this. I shouldn't have to tell the White House this, because that's your lane about laws and everything like that. So you gonna understand the nature of God, like what he likes and what he doesn't like, what he allows and what he doesn't allow. Okay, so you understand also that, okay, if God don't, if it's, this is important to God because he's making sure we stick to certain commandments for a whole nation. So can you imagine Moses allowing gay and lesbian marriage with the 10 commandments? That's how you need to hear it. That's how you need to hear it right there. Can you imagine the 12 commandments is where you can be with a man, and you can marry a man, and you can marry a woman. You see what I'm saying? Now my next question is, do you think God would be with the country? Do you think God would have been with that nation? It's a self-explanatory question, man. You can't be biased. You want to be biased, don't you? It's a self-explanatory. You see how the devil came into America, right? Okay, I hope you see. He came into the laws so that he could get possession over America. That's what he did. The devil plays chess, and any smart creature does things for different reasons, more than one reason. Why you think it was just gay marriage and lesbian marriage, and that's all it was. Satan was getting possession over America. Do you think that Moses could have commanded that with 12 commandments you can marry a man if you are a man, and you can marry a woman or if you're a woman? This is how serious it is when you say you are a holy Christian nation. So if you're not, then you don't have God's protection. You don't. And God is not with you. This is how it works. If it had to apply to the nation of Israel in the Bible, how does it not have to apply to you as Americans? Because you have an American superiority complex where you think America has everything, even Jesus. Oh, we got everything. We got Starbucks, we got McDonald's, we got Jesus over here in the marketplace. Don't work like that, little buddy. You see what I'm talking about? See, now you're talking to somebody who is talking about righteousness and living right. Will you be perfect? No, you will not be perfect. But putting laws up is a whole different animal. Putting gay and lesbian laws in the commandments for the people is a whole different animal. What people do in their bedroom, God gonna judge that. I can't judge you, so to speak. Especially in America, I can't drag you out of a gay bed or a lesbian bed. That's between you and your maker. But when you make laws, now we all have to suffer because it's gay commandments in the laws for America. That's how you need to hear it. It's gay commandments. It's lesbian commandments. Now, You being sound of mind and competent of mind, let me give you a questionnaire, right? Let me give you a quick questionnaire. Do you think if you made 12 commandments and you said you can have sex with men and if you're a man, and you can have sex with women if you're a woman, do you think you can marry, right? You can marry a man if you're a man. You can marry a woman if you're a woman. That's even worse. That's even worse than the sex act. Do you know that? That's even worse than the sex act. Because you are wedded to that person. This is worse. This is worse before God. Can you imagine? Do you think that you could put that in the 10 Commandments if that was the Bible? Do you? No, it's not an extreme. God gave commandments, right? Okay, so if it's okay by God and God is still with you as a country, like He was with Israel, then could Israel do what you do? Could Israel have commandments to marry men and commandments to marry women? Yes or no? A sound of mind person is going to answer that question. No, I don't think so. Because you're going to think that the Bible forbids this. It's just going to stick out to you. If you answer this on a questionnaire, as in the questionnaire, right? What answer are you going to give? What you think the right answer is? Let's be real. What you think the right answer is? Do you think we can make 12 commandments and put you can marry a man if you're a man and you can what's the right answer? Yes or no? Do you think that could be part of the 10 commandments? So if it couldn't be part of the 10 commandments, how can it be part of the commandments of America? And you can say God is with America. Because see, when I say God is with America, you know what that means? I take you through the Bible. Won't you do some homework and see when God was not with a nation and what happened to him? In other words, when they did things that God did not want them to do, God didn't just stay with them. He never did that. Because God don't agree with him. If God don't agree with you, He's not going to stay with you, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. You cannot have God's protection and have gay and lesbian marriage in the commandments. That's blasphemous, some people would say. To have sinful laws in the commandments to the people. So what I want you to understand, with that being said, it's no way in the world. You got Team Jesus 1 and Team Jesus 2 in America. No. If they over here playing with God's people, a war broke out. That's how it goes. And guess what? You know what God is going to do? Because God is real. If you really are spiritual and you're fasting, this is the key part. This matters. Because if you're not fasting, you're not going to be able to hear what God is doing. You're not going to be able to know what God is doing. You're going to think you're just going to go along with America like it's all good. But you need to hear, God telling me something. Everything ain't all good no more. It could have been, see, when you're really close to God, it could have been sunny weather to yesterday, but it's stormy weather today. And I'm not going to act like it's sunny weather today. And it's not. Nope. God told me something different. 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 God is not with this country no more. And now you can start seeing God's people not even voting. Listen, God is not with this country when they marry gay people and lesbians. I'm sorry to tell you. Question for Christians. When did gay and lesbian marriage take effect in the whole country nationwide? If you don't know, this is a rebuke. Because it's no way you should be that blind in your country where you can't tell me when the gay, and you got the internet where you can look up and Google things and you can educate yourself. You ain't got to go look in a book. It ain't like you got to go look on the news and wait for it on the news or something. Yeah, that part. You can go Google anything that comes to your mind when it comes to information. So this is the rebuke to Christians in America that's over here with America, but you didn't know that gay and lesbian marriage has been active in the country for 10 years. If I asked you, when did gay and lesbian marriage become active? You're supposed to know this. This is the laws. God expects you to know what the laws are. You don't believe that, do you? God expects you to know what the laws are. When did laws are important? Because this is where the devil comes in. When did gay and lesbian marriage laws become active in the United States nationwide, the whole country? When did that happen? You know what you're going to say? If I gave you a questionnaire, 1996, like it's because you heard it going on and talking about it going on back in the 90s, right? But it wasn't the whole country. It wasn't the whole country yet. So you can say it's been going on, but you heard, no, the topic has been going on. The topic has been talked about a million times. Just like these things that has finally become reality in America has been talked about for decades. Like, for example, AI, artificial intelligence, has been talked about since what, the 90s? You can remember in Time magazines and these magazines, if you my age and older, where they was talking about AI and gay marriage. Right or wrong? Okay, so we seen gay banners and gay marriage situations back in the 90s, the early 2000s. So you've seen glimpses of this, but you did not know that the whole country, slowly and quietly, to you as Christians, because you ain't in the world, the whole country is now gay and lesbian marriage. When did it happen? See, if you don't put it like this, you would think, well, this been going on, ain't nothing different. It hasn't just been going on. Not the whole country. Now you see what the difference is. When it became the whole country, it was over. So now what we're going to do, now that you realize that it's been 10 years since gay and lesbian marriage has been active in the whole country, not 30 years like you thought. You heard about it 30 years ago. It hasn't been active 30 years. So now you see that you can't say we've been suffering for having it in the whole country, because we didn't have it in the whole country. You know what I'm saying, right? So you can't say we already suffered for it if we didn't have it going on. I'm making a point. This is going to make sense. Because in June 2015 is when you passed the gay and marriage laws actively in the whole country. What I want you to do is see all the stuff that happened after the entire country officially had gay and lesbian marriage. What happened after that? What bad stuff happened after gay and lesbian marriage was passed? This is what God's people gonna do. We're gonna go back and look, especially the prophets, we're gonna go back and look at all the stuff that happened. You know what happened? COVID-19 happened 5 years later after you passed gay and lesbian marriage. You think that's a coincidence? I don't. Your country got worse and worse, and after gay and lesbian marriage, it has not gotten better. Your country has gotten worse and worse since gay and lesbian marriage has been passed in all 50 states. And see, if you're not careful, this sounds like Back to the Future, because you've heard gay marriage so much, you became scramble brain about it all, right? So you gotta shake yourself, shake your brain, put your brain on a swivel. Not your head, put your brain on the swivel. You can put your head on the swivel and your brain ain't on the swivel. Put your brain on the swivel and realize they just now passed all gay and lesbian marriages in the whole country. They just passed that. So then now the true prophets are looking for the repercussions lately. And that's the punchline. Now you're looking for the repercussions lately because they just passed these new laws in the past 10 years. And so what happened lately? You ain't paying attention. You say you're woke, but you're not woke to the repercussions of gay and lesbian marriage in the whole country, in the whole entire country. Once it's in the whole country, don't you think that's different? Of course it's different. It's the whole country. So it became the whole country June 2015. That just now was 10 years ago last year. Now look at the country 10 years later. You think it's a coincidence? See, the prophet is going to show you exactly what caused separation between you and God as a community. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to come in and show you exactly what caused the separation. Not just give you prophecies. Oh, you want me to show you a different operation of the prophet? Okay, the prophet Nathan, when he came to David. The prophet Nathan came to David when he slept with Bathsheba. He did not only tell her, he didn't tell him only the future. He exposed the hidden things that he did. He showed him what he did wrong. He showed him where he went wrong. The prophet comes and shows you not just the future. I show you where you went wrong, just like the prophet Nathan came to David. I'm coming to you just like the prophet Nathan came to David, and I'm showing you when he came to him about Bathsheba and killing Uriah, her husband, right? Just to be with her. Just to hide the baby that they had together because she was pregnant. That's what the real reason was. Because he got him drunk and tried to send him back to Bathsheba so he could have sex with her so it looked like it was his child. So he killed him basically not just to have Bathsheba, he killed him to cover up the baby that they had together. That's the real reason he killed him. And if a man of God kills somebody today, my credibility wouldn't last, would it? You praise David. You know what I mean? You praise David, dance like David danced, but do you know what David did? David killed a man for a woman. David killed a man for a woman. If you do that today, if I killed a man for a woman, my credibility wouldn't survive it. No, it would not in America. Oh, that man killed a man for a woman. What kind of man of God is that? Well, David did the same thing. See, I'm trying to show you how it really, really, really is, bro. Some of y'all don't know how it really, 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 it's real life. Serving God is real life, man. That's why you call people hypocrites. Well, I can show you, this is the cool thing. I can show you what you call a hypocrite in the Bible. I can show you a hypocrite in the Bible. I can show you service of God according to your definition of a hypocrite right there in the Bible. Starting with David. If I did that, you would call me a dirty, filthy, whoremongering hypocrite. That's what you would call me. If I killed a man for a woman, for merely a woman, in some people's eyes, you lose your whole legacy for merely a vagina. Men do it all the time. Men lose everything for a woman all the time. Not me, but many men do. All I'm doing it to you is like the prophet Nathan came to David. The prophet doesn't only come and see, I want you to listen to this very closely. The prophet doesn't only come to tell you the future. He also comes to expose on a whole nother level. When y'all talking about pedophiles, oh, but you marrying children. The prophet is going to come and play that position. The prophet is going to come while you talking about pedophiles and playing with his credibility. I'm the worst person you could have tried to play with. Because I'm going to come back around as the prophet in my position to show your country that your country is marrying children in the prophetic position, just like Prophet Nathan. The prophet Nathan came to David in the prophetic position and exposed what he did. I'm doing nothing no differently. You tried to expose me, right? I came back around in the prophetic position and exposed you for marrying children like I supposed to. And you didn't realize I was doing it in a prophetic position. Because I was full of laughs and jokes and everything, and you couldn't read between the lines how serious it really was. That's how we know how intelligent you are. Okay, you can hear the jokes, but you know it ain't a game. You can hear the jokes, but you know it's not a game. That's the most intelligent. Okay, I'm telling jokes, but it's not a game. I mean, we winning so good, how can we not have this kind of attitude? So, I come and expose. And when we find that you have gay and lesbian marriage in the country, God is not with you. And I put that on all my credibility. I put that on every shred of my credibility. Because I know my God, man. My God is righteous. Do not blaspheme. Some people will want to hurt you for you as Americans blaspheming. Some people serious about this, bro. You go into another country, they don't listen, they serious about this. They feel like you blaspheming to say God will be a part of a country that has gay and lesbian marriage. And I couldn't disagree. I can't disagree with that. It's borderline blaspheming. It's blasphemous, man. You're going to say God is with you, and you see what I'm saying? And you got gay and lesbian marriage where men can have sex with men legally in your country? No. And how you know I'm the prophet? Because I don't even try to do this. See, as I ride for God, God ride for me. This is me riding for God. This is what God is concerned about. Oh, why you thought he was just concerned about me or whatever? He concerned about this. I hate to hurt your feelings, but God is concerned about this gay and lesbian marriage in the country, buddy. Okay? That's what it is. So as I ride, listen, I might not be physically, you know what I mean, so much against it, but I got to ride with God. Make sense? Well, it makes sense to intelligent people. And God is going to ride with me. This is what God is concerned about, buddy. You got to, that part. God got, you got gay and lesbian marriage in the country. So let's look at the timeline. Because, listen, what I want you to take inventory of right now is the difference between the prophet and these preachers. Did any preacher get up there? Did T.D. Jakes tell you about gay and lesbian marriage in the country? Did he say one time in a clear way without preaching, without trying to rev up the people? Did he go up there and tell you just as a servant of God without all the jokes, sometimes I tell jokes, sometimes I gotta break it down. Did he come up there and break it down to you? No, he didn't. Bishop Jakes did not tell you y'all got gay and lesbian marriage. See, you got to be careful as a preacher that you don't become an actor. That you don't become a performer. That you can come up there and come out of the performance of ministry, and you can come up there and say what you gotta say and say what God is saying right now. That you can come up there and say what is right and what is wrong in America, and you not performing. That's what I'm talking about. You performing. I'm not. Because when you not performing, guess what? And when you ain't thinking nothing like that, you looking around and listen to that part, and you looking at what please God. No, you listening to what God is wanting to say. And you listening to, and no matter what style of preaching you got, you gonna have to tell people right from wrong. I don't care if you some person, a life coach. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you some counselor, drug counselor, and you think you got some certain style of preaching. You gonna have to get up there if you preaching. If you are a true messenger, you gonna have to say what God is saying to the community. And guess what? That ain't gonna make a lot of friends. In fact, it might make a lot of enemies. If you come on now, anybody with a brain know if you keep it 100 about God, don't you think that that's gonna make a lot of enemies? But this is the position of the prophet. See, it ain't for cowards. It's not for a coward, because you gotta say what God wants you to say. How you gonna say what God wants you to say and you a coward? And I'm not saying T.D. Jakes is a coward. I'm just saying in general. What I believe is a lot of people are fixed into certain type of styles of messages, and they can't break that mold and just say what need to be said, because they so used to throwing out that style instead of just like, hold up, cut. Let's just talk about this. That kind of mindset. Let's just talk about this. Where there's gay marriage in the country, this ain't for to inspire nobody. This is just what it is. You know, it's gay and lesbian marriage in the country. This is why God is not with this country. Listen, I want you to realize, clean your mind, right now, like a chalkboard. Just wash it down, right? Got to get it good and clean. Now, I want you to realize that from all the stuff you heard about gay marriage has only been legal in all 50 states for only 10 years. Only 10 years. So all that other stuff you heard throughout the decades, throughout the 90s, throughout the early 2000s, it has only been legal in all 50 states for 10 years. Now, that's the beginning of the timeline. What happened after that? What I want you to do is go look and do some homework on what happened after gay and lesbian marriage was passed in the whole country. Now that you finally know that as a Christian that they passed gay and lesbian marriage 10 years ago. Okay, you got it right. Okay, now you know God ain't gonna be with no country that got gay and lesbian marriage. See, you didn't know. You was confused about it. Okay, it's over here, it's over there. No, see, it's the whole country now. It's the whole country. That's a different ball game. As far as God being with the country, yes, it's a whole different ball game. God don't play no games, buddy. Don't blaspheme. God is not going to be with no country. Ain't no preacher going to sit up here that's an educated prophet, an educated teacher of the Bible, and see the patterns of God not being with a country when they do the wrong thing. Seeing all the times that God left people when they did not do the wrong thing, individuals and nations, right? So imagine God being with America and you educated on the Bible, where you've seen time and time again didn't you? If you educated on the Bible, you've seen time and time again, haven't you? Time and time again. God leaving a person or a nation when they didn't do what God wanted them to do. So what's the difference? I'm going to tell you what's the difference. You got an American superiority complex where you think America's just got everything. They got God, they got everything. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. You passed gay and lesbian marriage 10 years ago and God is not with you. He do not strive with America, and that's the reason. And you can't find me no preachers talking about it. You can't find Trump talking about it. You can't find Caroline Levitt talking about it. You can't find none of these people talking about it. You can't have your cake and eat it too, man. You can't have gay and lesbian marriage in the country, and then think that God is going to be with you and protect this country and bless this country. It's not going to happen. This is why he left countries. This is why he left nations, for sin in the commandments and people doing things in the community as a collective community. When people start doing things collectively, it's a problem. Before that, guess what we could do? We could isolate that person and kill them. But if it's the collective community, it's over. God is going to leave the whole country. Now, the next step is I'm going to show you Israel. Hold up. This is going to blow your mind right here. Gay and lesbian sexual activity has been legal in Israel since 1988. Gay and lesbian sexual activity has been legalized since 1988. You know how many Christians don't even know this? You know how many Christians do not know that while you've been talking about Israel and God gonna protect Israel and Iran can't play with Israel and God is with Israel? No, let me explain something to you. When you have this complex about Israel, God has turned his back on Israel many times in the Bible. Right or wrong? Okay, so God has turned his back on Israel. Why? Because when they sin, they can't be with God with sin. No. Okay? So if you're not careful, you will think that just God is just with Israel because it's Israel. And you'll have the same complex that you have with America. Like, oh, God is just with America. God is just with Israel off the strength of who they used to be. Off the strength of who Israel is in the Bible. But if you read the same Bible, guess what happens? Guess what happens? When you read the same Bible, I don't perform for you. Let me help you understand something. For people who got an African complex, we're going to go through all the complexes. An African complex can't see God's people. We don't care about you just being African. You another one. If you do not serve God, you will perish as Africans. Don't try to come see me. Don't try to come see me because you're not even in a position to see me. You are not a righteous community. Case closed. I don't waste no time on you no more. So imagine you trying to see if I'm fraudulent, but you ain't righteous. Make it make sense. Make it make sense where you're not a righteous African American community. You're not righteous collectively. No, you're not. So that's why you're suffering. That's why you can't get ahead. So you're not the committee that's over the prophet. Let's stop. Let's settle this right now. March 31st, 2026. Black people are not over the prophet to see if I'm real or fake. You're not over me. Because and how we know you're not over me and God did not appoint you over me because you are not righteous. That's how we know. And we don't have to go any further. If you are not, this is the same problem we talk about. Because with God, it's right or wrong, righteousness or wickedness. That's it. And if you are in unrighteousness, you can't come see the prophet. I don't care who you're supposed to be as an African. Do you understand? I hope you do. I hope you do. Because only thing going to happen to you is you're going to get your feelings hurt or worse, playing with a prophet, buddy. Off the strength of you being African and whatever that's supposed to mean to you and your community. Because as long as you are not righteous and you play with me, listen, God gonna shred you to pieces. I'm telling you right now. And it don't matter if you got dreadlocks, if you dark skinned, you black as Wesley Snipes. You could be black as Wesley Snipes and God gonna shred you to pieces. Okay? I just want you to know. Because people put on Jamaican music like they gods. Jamaica got the age of consent at 16 in Jamaica to have sex with children. Oh, you didn't know? Huh? The age of consent in Jamaica is 16. 16 years old. 16 years old, buddy. 16 years old. In Jamaica, they can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys right now. That's what the prophet do. I know you thought that was the righteous land, the holy land. It's a lot of black people that think that's the righteous, holy. That's what they hold it in high esteem, right? Guess what God showed me, buddy? You got the age of consent in Jamaica at 16 years old. Oh, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You can go look at it. You can go look it up for yourself. 16 years old is the age of consent in Jamaica. That's not a man. That's not a woman. Okay? Why you talking about what? Bomber clock? But in Jamaica they can have sex with 16-year-old girls and boys. Okay? Okay? Anybody misunderstand? See, that's the difference between what you reverence and God's people. This is God's people. This is not Jamaicans. This is not Jamaicans. This is God's people, buddy. That's all I'm telling you. In 1988, the age of consent before 1988 was at 14 years old in Jamaica. 14 years old in Jamaica. You can have sex with 14-year-old girls and boys. Go look it up for yourself. I'm just saying, see, I just know the truth. I just pay attention to it. I just put my brain on the swivel. Not my head. You got your head on the swivel. I got my brain on the swivel. I got my brain on the swivel. Well, I know even the Jamaicans was having sex with 14-year-old girls and boys. Okay, yeah, before 1988, which means all the times the celebrities, during the best times of the celebrities, the 60s, the 70s, all that time, the age of consent was 14. They had all that fun. And then towards the end of the 80s, they changed it to 16 in Jamaica. They not having sex with grown men and women down there like you think. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know, man, because people will put that like that's above me, like Jamaican above the prophet. No, it's not, buddy. That's 7 out. Jamaicans is not above the prophet. See, we understand what you're trying to insinuate. Listen, Jamaicans ain't above no prophet of God, buddy. How? Explain it intelligently. Explain it intelligently. You can't, can you? Can you explain it intelligently? So anything that you insinuate, you should be able to explain it intelligently. You can't explain how Jamaicans just virtually, merely being Jamaicans are over me. Or I'm inferior to Jamaicans. Or I'm inferior to Africans. How I'm inferior to Africans? Can you explain it intelligently? You can't. They human beings just like everybody else, buddy. They doo-doo stink like everybody else's. You go in the bathroom and the doo-doo stink just like everybody else, buddy. That boo-boo stink like everybody else's, don't it? That dookie stink like everybody else, don't it? I'm just being honest. See, when you have this superiority complex, you gotta watch even black people. They black supremacists. You got white supremacists and black supremacists. They make the same mistake as thinking their race of people is above other races of people. And you've been subject to it. What make it so bad, you've been subject to it. You've been subject to another race of people thinking they above you merely because of the race they are. And then you turn right around and do the same thing. You teach yourself black supremacy in so many ways that you above everybody else. What's the difference between you and the white supremacist? When you teach that you above everyone else, that's what he teach. The white man teach the same thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm done with it, man. I just want to incorporate that in there, man, because, see, I know it's certain type of African people that think they above other people just because they're African or whatever comes with that. Whatever comes with it. But what don't come with it is you doing the right thing in your community. What don't come with it is your community doing the right thing collectively. And if you were so grand and great and dandy above us, then why y'all ain't doing the right thing? Make it make sense. That's all. That's all you got to do. See, the prophet is going to be the one that bring it down, everything back down to reality and put it in proper perspective. That's all. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. You don't have nobody. See, what I'm going to teach you as Americans, you don't have nobody to put over top of the prophet. Who? Besides God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost. You want to find somebody to put on top of me. You can't put Jay-Z on top of me. You can't put Beyonce on top of me. Beyonce ain't on top of me. Y'all the type of people that would kill somebody for talking about Beyonce. Then you don't even know this woman. You don't even know her personally. Americans is the type of person that if they seen you and Beyonce in a fight, they would kill you. You know what I mean? They seen you in a fight with Jay-Z, they would kill you. They don't even know them people. They know me better than they know them. But you got this. But you worship these people. But they have not told you about child marriage laws in America, have they? Jay-Z ain't told you about it. Did he educate you on Jamaica? No, he didn't. Jay-Z didn't educate you. Beyonce didn't educate you. And that's all I'm talking about. See, you should have knew, man. Listen, man, you know what black people gonna do. They gonna pit you up against whoever they feel is the greatest. Listen, in this day and time, even if you a prophet, you know what they gonna do? They gonna put you up against culture stuff that don't even make sense. You know how I have had to fight these images of Jay-Z? Like, that's a rapper. That's not no prophet. He agrees with homosexuality and lesbianism as a lifestyle. Yes, he does. He agrees with it. That's two different sides. It's not Jesus side 1 and Jesus side 2. I told y'all this. This is another perfect example. You got a whole bunch of black people going with Jay-Z, and you got a whole bunch of black people going with me. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We not two empires. We not the same empire. We not the same. It's not that I'm trying to compare myself to him. It's just everybody looks at him as the top, right? Okay, so then you know you're gonna try to compare him to me. But you can't be a righteous man and a man in the world at the same time. You can't do it. Not according to the Bible. So he can't appear to be righteous like us and be over here chilling with y'all. It ain't gonna work. You gotta trade one for the other. And see, so in that case, and not particularly him, I could call many of you bummer clots because you try to be righteous, but you over there with them. That's a bummer clot. You're double-minded. You can't choose your side. You can't choose your side. Look, you can't choose your side. This is what I heard a white girl say, a young white woman that served God. She said this: you can't have one foot over here and one foot over there. You know what I heard a Jamaican say that I used to know? You gotta choose to be either righteous or wicked. You can't be both. This is what I heard a Jamaican man tell me. You can't be you can't be righteous or and wicked at the same time, bro. You gotta choose your side. And if you think that weak mixture that you got going on among black people, where you can be righteous here and there, you know what I'm saying, talk about some positive thing, and then go over here and do this, that, and the third, that time is over. I could say that's a bomber clock mixture. You a mixture that makes you bomber clock, because you're righteous for 1 minute, you over here righteous, but as a lifestyle, you over here. I'm not saying you're gonna be perfect, but but you cannot speak a righteous language and not live that righteous lifestyle. You gotta live it, and it's not easy. You can fail, like David. You can fail. You can make mistakes, but at least you trying. At least I respect the person. At least you trying. These people over here calling people bummer clocks, and they ain't even trying. They ain't even trying to live right. They not even educated on their own people. Slavery The transatlantic slave trade was all about the Africans selling us into slavery. Africans sold us into slavery. That's how we got here. Now you told by America and pro-black people that the white man put you in slavery. No, he didn't. He just took advantage of the slave trade. You got two parts of the the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade. You got part one and you got part two. Part one is the ancestors of the Caribbean people. The second part of the transatlantic slave trade is where you get African Americans. By that time, Africans were selling us into slavery. And they apologize. I seen an article with it where Africans wanted to apologize for slavery because they knew they sold us into it. Just like Joseph got sold into slavery because of his brothers in the Bible. So then we sold each other out. Don't tell me about a sellout. We sold each other out from the very beginning, man. See, when it comes to the righteous African, nobody don't want to be. They don't want to be the whole thing. Because you know why? Because it's too irresistible to totally turn your back on cool people. Turn your back on the culture, all that cool stuff. See that part? And that's how we know you not connected to God. Because when you connected to God, guess what? You're going to look at all of that over there and say, you know what? It look cool, it's good, but I can't be over there. That's not righteous. I can't even chill over there. See, most black people, even in your family, gonna tell you, you can come to the cookout. You a Christian, but you can come to the cookout. No, I can't. No, I can't. And see, you're gonna get shunned away by your family because they're gonna say, man, listen, he too good to come to the cookout. That's how people gonna be talking in the cookout. Oh, he too good to come down here with us. No, I live a righteous life. Y'all doing all this stuff. Y'all doing all this shaking around and all this going on. Come on, man. And so see, for real righteous people, we separate even from our own family. So I want you to understand something very clearly. I'm not subject to your opinion when you're not a righteous community. Understand what I'm saying? You're not a righteous community. So why would I be subject to your opinion? What makes you think I'm subject to your opinion when you ain't got your house in order? See, the old school used to say this from the South. This is why I even get along with Jamaicans, because I'm from the South. I got that earthy African vibe, right? I got it myself, right? How can you even be out here, right? How can you be out here trying to see me and you ain't got your house in order? You're homosexuals. You're lesbians. You all these other things. But you trying to see me. Why you even worried about me is my thing. Why you even worried about me? See, that's how you know you're not doing what a grown man and a grown woman should be doing. You know what you should be doing? If you're a real man, if you're a real woman, you will be focused on your own house, getting your own house in order. I'm a grown man. I got a son in the world, buddy. I'm a papa. You ain't even got no children. You talking to a grown man, buddy. I'm sorry you didn't realize that. I'm a father. You know what most people gonna tell you? You the one gotta go. You the one gotta die. You the one gotta die, buddy. You done lost your mind. You ain't man enough to even talk to me face to face about whatever's on your chest. So how you African like me? I can tell you what I want to tell you. Face to face, I'm telling you what I want to tell you. I'm telling you. I'm saying what I gotta say. All you can do is throw out insults and stuff that nobody believes. Nobody believes what you're talking about, bro. So you know what it looks like? It looks like you losing your mind, bro. It looks like you done went crazy. It look like you done went crazy because you, and the truth is, I'm gonna make it simple for you. The reason why you're going crazy is because you can't come to terms with the fact that you messed up this whole situation going by something you heard from somebody else. See, if you don't come back to the path of the real path of what you've done, then you gonna go crazy. Because you ain't on the right path. The right path is you come to terms with why you really out here. Why you out here? You know why you out here? Because you went by what other black people was telling you. That's why you going crazy. See what I'm saying? Think about it in a spiritual way. You going crazy because you went on you up here trying to see me all out of pocket. And you came from listening to somebody else and what they said. You can't be a right spirit. You can't be a righteous spirit doing those type of things. That's another reason you're losing your mind. Because you're not a righteous spirit, bro. That's why I don't waste my time. Because I know what the real problem is. And you don't want to accept it. See, if you accept it, that you made mistakes, not me. I ain't made no mistakes. Not in the context that you talk about. Nope. You made mistakes breaking rules that all Africans don't break, which is, if I don't got no receipts on this person, I'm not going to play with this person. That's how I beat you. How you going to come out here and play with somebody you ain't got no receipts? That's it. That's what all black culture going to believe. I don't care what tribe of African it is. Ain't nobody going to vouch for you. They going to think you crazy like I do. If you come out here and you ain't got no receipts, and you going mad like you got some receipt, like you know something and you got something on this person, that don't look like you losing your mind. It do to me. It look like you losing your mind to me, buddy. That's all I'm saying. That's all it look like to me. You losing your mind, bro. I call it how I see it. I call it how I see it, buddy. I call it how I see it. You look like you losing your mind. That's why me, man. Me, if you show respect, you get respect. It's bottom line. The truth is, you already know you done disrespected me in the position you in. So it ain't no conversation. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. See, that's another place you went wrong. Thinking you can come see me and play in my face, and thinking ain't nothing going. I'm gonna just let you do it. I ain't gonna feel no type of way. That's another place you went wrong. I'm a grown man over here. So then it ain't gonna ever be right. Because it's you that's not right. That's why. You're a prideful community that thinks somebody owe you something. What I owe you? You want me to tell you what you owe me? You owe me an explanation why you even here without any charges or any receipts on what you talking about. I don't owe you no explanation. What explanation I owe you? What explanation? I owe you an explanation. Well, you're here like I owe you an explanation. I owe you an explanation. I don't, sucker. Sucker, I don't. I don't owe you no explanation. And that's that. And that's what a grown man's supposed to tell you. That's what a grown man's supposed to tell you. I don't owe you no explanation, buddy. And see, that's when you out of pocket. But you out of pocket, right? Man, somebody been done killed you in another situation. You'll be dead in another situation. You realize that? Not me, you. Sure, I know what I'm talking about, buddy. I know how black people think. I know how Americans think. If you won't smoke and you don't got no charges and no receipts, what's next? Nothing's next but a fight. That's the only thing, and that's why it's happening to you. That's why I don't feel sorry for you. You can feel what you want to feel. But the bottom line is, I got receipts on you, and you ain't got them on me. And that's that. Now, who's the bomber clock? You out here without receipts? That's bomber clock, bro. You out here without receipts. You ain't got no receipts. You don't. I got real receipts in the real world. That's why I deal with nothing but reality, buddy. You know why I like reality? Because listen, man, it put all the foolishness to rest, man. You can't listen. Reality is you ain't got no charges, do you? You ain't got nobody out here that can vouch for your situation. You ain't got nobody that got evidence on me, do you? Okay, so that's the end, sucker. I'm telling you, just like a gangster would tell you, the end. You got any charges? Okay, the end, sucker. Now for you, I have offense against you because you shouldn't have been over here playing with me. You shouldn't have been playing with me, bro. That's it. So that's an offense in itself. It's an offense in itself for you to be here. For you to be here is an offense in itself. That's what it is. It's an offense in itself. But you ain't man enough to say nothing to me. And that's all I'm saying, bro. Do you realize, let me tell you something. Do you realize no man has confronted me in my life about that? What you talking about? Ain't none of them have confronted me. So what would you feel if you was me? None of these Africans have ever confronted you. What would you feel? What would you feel? Nobody ain't never confronted you face to face like a real man supposed to. Like a real man supposed to confront people. And listen, I can say this before for the Lord. None of these people have ever confronted me. See, if you hear this information, you would think I'm running from people. No, you will. Even if I heard it, I would think, oh, this person must be running from people. Bro, ain't nobody ever said nothing to my face. What would you think? I wouldn't tell you. Ain't gonna take nobody seriously, man. I don't take you seriously. If you can't say it to my face and tell me what your issue is, would you take it seriously? No. I ain't taking that seriously, bro. Listen, I can say whatever I gotta say to you. I'm a real papa. I done been married. I done had a kid. I can say whatever I need to say to you like a real man. I don't need to say nothing to you. I don't need to say nothing to you because listen. You ain't listen. I don't care what you. I don't really care. First of all, I don't really care. What I've said is enough. What I've said is enough. Other than that, it ain't gonna make sense for me to say something to you, because you're a complete stranger to me. You don't really care about nobody. You don't really care about yourself, because if you did, you would stay out of my lane. If you cared about people in this community, you would stay away from a prophet. But you can't resist it. So for some reason, you think you should be here. And that's what I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show these lame niggas. You don't supposed to be here. But something in your head make you feel like that because you feel like you're a righteous African committee, and that's not you. You're not a righteous community. So then why are you here then? That part. Because if you're not righteous, you can't judge in our community. Only the righteous can judge in the community, man. You can't. That's like a bum coming up trying to judge a situation. How are we gonna let him judge a situation? That's why we'll never get along, man. Because as we know, we can't do nothing together. Black people can't do nothing together. We can't live together. No, we can't. Go ask your family. Can black people live together? No. You know why? Because they don't know how to submit to one another. If you come into somebody else's house, how you gonna raise your voice and talk about whatever? If you in a shelter, why is you raising your voice like you an authority? You're nobody. You're here just like I am. Right? Even if they put you here on purpose, guess what, buddy? You're not above me. You're not above me. But see, black people can't live together. You know why? Because they can't submit. They don't know who to submit to. You submit to the person that proves that they are an authority. They play the position of an authority. You don't play so you play the position of an authority. No, you don't, buddy. You don't play no. But see, in our economy, you listen. Can you imagine you trying to judge a Christian and you ain't a Christian? You ain't got, listen, buddy, you don't got your life in order. You don't. Who are you? That's how we look at it. I done been around Jamaicans. I done been around the righteous people. I know what I'm talking about. And if you're not righteous, you can have divination, psychic power, all of that other foolishness, and whatever you got going. But if you don't live a righteous life, you are not submitted to Jesus Christ. And therefore, how could you think you could come see me and I'm a prophet? Because it's something in African culture where you think you can come see me. You know what I'm talking about? It's something that makes them feel they can come see you. Like, we can judge that. That's the hood. See, the hood kind of influenced you. Like, certain people in the hood will gather together. They'll gather together. They'll gather together and think that they can put yay and nay on a person's life. You ain't got yay and nay on my life, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. You can't put a yes and no on my life, buddy. I'm built to last. I carry weapons. See, while you talking loud, I got weapons. That's all I'm saying. But I can be man enough to be righteous and talk about the real righteous issue. But if you act like it's something else, I'm just saying. I'm armed at all times. I got weapons right now. I'm just saying. So if all else fails, if you can't seem to get yourself together and take care of your own business, listen, I can take care of mine. I can take care of my business. I don't put out no empty threats. Because to me, it don't matter too much more longer. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what happens. Because we already won, and it ain't much more to see. Far as the streets go, I won. So, now I'm writing President Maduro. You know what I'm saying? Did you think about doing that? I just wrote President Maduro a whole letter. I wrote him a whole letter. It took me 4 hours to write him a letter. Because I translated it all in Spanish. I wrote him a whole letter. What bummer clot gonna do that? I'm not scared for how he gonna help me if I was scared for my life? How that's gonna help me? No, I have a relation point of an injustice with these Americans. That's what it is. I got a relation point of injustice with these Americans. Playing in our face, and just like they playing in his face. That's what inspired me to write him. See, the truth is, man, I know something that you don't want to acknowledge, and like I said, they on a whole different path. You don't want to acknowledge that really, man, you did the wrong thing, and that's it. That's all it is to it. You want to try to make it work. Like, see, and that's the only way that would work. If I was a sucker. If I was a sucker, you can know you made a mistake, but you gonna make me pay for it. You gonna still try to come see me. You gonna still be in my face. Only way your format can work right now is if I'm a sucker. I'm gonna keep pushing you off of me like I'm supposed to. I'm gonna keep pushing you off my path like I'm supposed to, bro. You listen. You made mistakes, and you could die for them mistakes. That's it. That's what the streets talking about right now. What I want you to realize is this. For these secret societies and these butthurt black people, let's call it how it is, these Freemasons and these other people that think they bad, right? Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I've been around real killers. Okay? I've been around people that took people's lives, bruh. Did you know that? Okay, so if you thought I was some little gay, bouncy little twinky twink dude, that's not me, bro. I've been around killers, man. You understand? And I know people say that so much, like rappers and cliche. It's almost cliche. Man, listen. I've been around killers right here in Brooklyn, bro. I had a friend, a Jamaican friend, only 20 years old with a body under his belt. You understand me? So you're not talking any language that puts any fear in my heart, bro. That's what I'm saying. You can go try them lanes like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a real man. I can be a man about it. I can get my weapons about it. It's however you want to handle it. But we not gonna let you stand in the same position like you got a righteous cause. That's what we talking about. What we talking about now is you don't have a righteous cause. Okay, so then that's scratch all the foolishness. If this would have been over long time ago, if we would have realized they do not have a righteous cause. So okay, so whenever they do what they do, we ain't got nothing to do with it. We don't care about it. And if they keep playing, if we get spiritual repercussions like they we got spiritual repercussions, they pay for it. Because they don't have a righteous cause, man. Y'all been through that. The streets been, the people been through they ain't have no righteous cause. And let me tell you another thing. I could be fake all day and I could be a righteous man and you still gonna die. I'm just letting you know. I don't gotta be real according to the streets. Even the streets agree with that. The streets is gonna tell you better. I don't gotta be no thug or gangster or I have any of those inclinations to win this war. To win this war, all I need to be is a righteous man. I don't need to be no thug. I don't need to see you looking for the wrong things, buddy. You know what you should have been looking for? That I ain't having sex with nobody. You don't see me smoking no weed. You don't see me smoking no cigarettes. You don't see me you don't see me doing nothing, do you? That's what I'm talking about, little buddy. See, you need to be paying, what you should have been paying attention to is my righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that in a self-righteous way, but you should have been paying attention to the fact, oh, yo, this dude is out the way. We don't see him out here in Brooklyn. He ain't smoking blunts. He ain't drinking or whatever. He ain't doing nothing, right? That's all you need to be concerned about. But not, you don't really need to be concerned about that. But in other words, that's all you should be looking for. But you know what you're looking for? You're looking for all the wrong things. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a hack, a smart hack for life. Instead of looking for the wrong things, why don't you try looking for the right things? Ooh. Why you trying to read people and while you looking for the wrong things, why don't you listen to the right things? Why don't you listen to the right things out of somebody's heart? Why don't you look for the good in somebody? And maybe you could see them better. If you look for the good, you would have seen it all along. You would have seen who I was all along. You know the problem? You was looking for the wrong things, man. That's not a right spirit. See, a right spirit, we got to be careful with that discernment. That's discernment. The whole idea of discernment. Because if you're always looking for the wrong thing, you know what I learned? You're going to see what you want to see. Because you're already putting out the energy. Looking at that part, you already putting out the energy about what you're trying to find. Oh, that don't matter? I think it do. My head ain't screwed on like that. I don't go around looking for people to be pedophiles. I don't go around like that. I really, I just let people be who they are. I don't even look for good. I just let people be who they are. Who they are is the truth. Whatever it is the, whatever they do and whatever they say, that's the truth. That's it. But trying to read people, I think it's stepping over a boundary. I mean, because who are you to try to read me? See what I'm talking about? And you a grown man. Ain't no grown man gonna say, "Oh, come over here and read me." Yeah, even if you right, even if you're a good person, you're gonna invite somebody. It's just offensive. It's an offensive practice. You're trying to come see me for your own pleasure. You trying to come see me because you're ghetto, and you don't want to admit it. And that's what it is. That's all it is. Because if you a player, you're gonna be about your own business, right? So you ain't a player. We know that. Let's settle that. You ain't no player. Because the players are busy playing. The players are, especially what is a Monday? Well, a Monday, but the players out here doing their thing. You think they gonna slow down to worry about me? No. So that's how we know, see, that tells us who you are. Because if you was a player, listen, buddy, you'll be out the way. You'll be out there doing your own thing. You'll be out there and out the way. A player is out there and out the way, right? The player is out there and out the way. See, one thing about me, bro, let me tell you something. I don't struggle with black image. I know I'm black. And guess what? I have it for myself. I stand on my own. I got it for myself, man. I don't need nobody to clarify that, or they can't take it from me. Because my idea is, if you can take my blackness, then take my black experience. If you can take me looking as a black man out, like they look at me as a black man out there, take that part. How they see me in the streets as a black man. These cops, everybody. Yeah. It ain't gotta be all the cops, but it's some. It's some, right? It's enough of them. Won't you take that experience with how the cops see me? But you can't. So guess what? I'm gonna always be black because I'm gonna always have a black experience in America. See, that's how you don't let nobody take your blackness. You know why? Because they can't take your black experience. They can't take you being mistreated, can they? From bodies of people. Okay, so then how you gonna take my blackness? All you can do is think you better than me. Basically, I mean, look at it for what it is. They can think they better than you. That's it. That's all. I don't care about that. Think about it. But ultimately, that's what it comes down to. What it boils down to. In some type of way, they think they better than you. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about it though. I mean, I'm too old to care something about it. See, what they ain't telling you is I'm almost 50 years old. I'm less than 10 years away from 50. Can you imagine a man like me that's almost 50 years old being subject to your opinion? Almost 50 years old, and I'm gonna be sitting here worried about what you thinking about me? Man, come on, man. Listen, bro. I'm too old to care. I don't care. I'm less than 10 years away from 50. I don't care, bro. That's how I'm supposed to feel. I don't supposed to let nobody come out here and play with me, and I don't. And my thing is this: I ain't out here playing with nobody myself. Am I? You don't see me out here in nobody's way, do you? So you can't say, I can see if I was doing the same thing. You can't see me. You don't see me out here in nobody's face, do you? That's all I'm saying. So, see, I don't lose. That's why people respect me, because the truth is I'm carrying myself the right way. It's not just that, some people feel some type of way about me, or like whatever it is, they might be intimidated or whatever. It's not that. It's how I carry myself. If you see me point A to point B, and I'm only checking people if it makes sense. If it makes sense, I'm checking people, right? But other than that, I'm just kind of like to myself, and I do me, right? If I'm like that, and people pushing up on me and playing in my face, who you gonna respect? You gonna respect the person that's just doing them. Most African people, they gonna respect me. It don't matter. It's not about size. See, people think it's Team Jesus 1 and Team Jesus 2. I keep telling these people, I belong to God, man. If you play with somebody that belong to God, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's arrogance beyond. How do I put it? It's arrogance beyond tolerance. I can't tolerate it. That's why I'm moving on. It's not because I'm scared. It's because I grew. I grew as a person, and I realized I'd rather be on the streets with my wins, where everybody know I won. Look at the country. Look at Iran. All this stuff going on, and people might want to celebrate you, but they don't have the courage to do it the right way. If you want to celebrate somebody, you want to get to know somebody, how hard is it to speak to somebody like you speak to these celebrities? These celebrities might shoot you down because they go through a lot. I go through a lot. Okay, so then of course, this person ain't gonna talk to everybody, but if you come at somebody the right way, just the right way, you know what I'm saying? But if you know it's games going on, this is what makes this situation unique. If you know a situation's going on in this building, why would you think I would talk to somebody? You don't think I know that? So it's stuff going on in the building with people in my politics. Now, why would I embrace anybody here? Why would I talk to anybody? Would you do that? You would talk to people and people playing in your face? No. So I supposed to carry myself like this. I supposed to. And that's what you ain't paying attention to. So, man, I'm saying, listen, man, I ain't never been nobody's sucker, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. I keep weapons, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, when I was in the other room, before this other altercation, this dude kicked in bust through my door, and I pulled my weapons on him, and he had to back up out my room. That was in the same building. I pulled weapons on this person already. He didn't tell the police, but yeah, I pulled weapons on him. That's what I'm saying. I already did that in this building. Now the other person, I called the police because he wasn't built. To me, if you a citizen, I'm going to call the police on you. Because I can't confront you like a real man. I can't confront you like the streets. I can't do none of that. See, if you in 2026 and you got the principles of a real dude, right? You can't confront a citizen. A citizen. That's what the streets call a lot of these people. They citizens, bro. I can't confront that person. Because I ain't gonna win. I can't win for losing. If I confront you as a street dude, you gon' either take it the wrong way, you gonna take it out of context, you're gonna try to get loud with me, and it's not gonna work. And I'm gonna be the one in jail. You know, you can't win. You can't win confronting people like that. So then there's another dynamic of a guy like me, especially being a prophet, because guess what? This is why I've grown as a person. Even as a prophet, where I might stick to street codes or whatever, I want to stick to certain street codes or whatever, right? What you think God want me to do? If there's a problem, what you think God wants? Me to stick to G codes or call the police? And see, that's what the righteous black man gotta go through. Because the truth is, God don't want you to stick to no G codes or street codes. God wants you, if there's a problem, God is waiting for you to call the police. Jesus is waiting for you to call the police. Not snitch on people. I'm saying, but if you're in a situation, the truth is, how we like to handle things, that ain't how God wants you to handle it. Let's be 100. Most of the way we want to handle things, God don't want you to handle it that way. You know what I'm saying? No, he don't. No, he don't. God wants you to go through the proper protocol of you being a citizen. You have to confront a citizen as a citizen. So guess what a citizen gonna do? Call the police. You gotta confront them like citizens, because they ain't gonna do it like street people anyway. They already show signs that they not okay. If they up here without receipts, that's not street people. No. Because a street person gonna say, okay, I heard something about you, right? But I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? I'm gonna give you the information so you can defend yourself. Because how I feel is, okay, what if he don't even know what we know? What if it's a whole lie and he don't even know what it is? He don't even know what it is. How we know for sure he knows what it is? Or if some of it was the truth, then what if half of it ain't the truth? This man should know what it is. I think he should. I think somebody, if you play that position like y'all politicking, right, then you should be able to send somebody to me so I can defend myself against the information that you're talking about. See, some people ain't built on them levels, but they play them positions, but they not built to play the full position. The full position is, okay, all these politics or whatever you heard, we gonna bring somebody to you and tell you what we heard, right? We gonna tell them the whole thing. We gonna tell them the whole thing. So then you could say, okay, you could say I wasn't even here during that. I wasn't even over there during that time. You can defend yourself, say I wasn't even in that state when that happened. You can say, oh, I was at this other place at that time. But if they don't confront you, how you know what to defend yourself against? That's real. That's all I'm saying, man. That's how I feel. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, bro. That's what I would do. If it was me, I would come to you and say, yo, this is how real righteous Africans, this is how Africans would do it. Yo, we heard this about you. This is exactly what we heard. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting this bug in your ear to let you know I don't do these type of things. I wouldn't want to do these type. I don't want nobody doing these things around me. You know, and you know, I don't want to see you do those things. I hope you don't do those things. I would come to you like that. And so I would see your reaction like, okay, nah, I ain't, huh? Or what you heard? What's the details? How it happened? What? See, you needed details. And I guarantee you, from all the stuff you heard, you don't have details. See how people can trick you? If you don't have details, you don't have nothing. So you get Jedi mind tricked on subject matter. What the subject matter is, but what's the details? Because the details is what's going to incriminate the person. If you don't have details, what do you have? That's why I challenge people on the details, because I know what I've done in my life. So I feel you should bring the details to me so I can defend myself against what you've been told. But you haven't ever done that. See, I'm showing you how I would do it. It don't matter. Like if it was somebody in my family I had a problem with, first of all, I would confront them myself. I wouldn't bring like my brother, bring out other people and that's your brother and you can't confront your own brother. I could see if it was somebody in the streets. That's your brother. Why you couldn't confront your own brother? Because he not built like that. He not built like that. He had to use you. You know what I'm saying? I was right in his face and he didn't even say nothing to me. And I would have a problem with that. How you right in your brother's face? That's your brother. That ain't somebody out here in the street that you can't get a hold of, that you had us get a hold of. Nah, you was right there with him. So why you ain't say nothing to him? Because you ain't built like that. He wasn't built like that. I said, when I seen him, I said whatever I need to say to him. I said everything I needed to say to him. See, I proved the difference between me and him. When I had a problem with him, as grown men, I confronted him outside my mother's house, me and him on the streets. You know what he said when I confronted him about my issue? Oh, I'll make it up to you. No, hold up. The same boy talking. When I confronted him, he said he gonna make it up to me. And that's the difference. He never could confront me on anything. I confronted him mano a mano, man to man. See, the problem is people are cowards, man. The main people who started this problem is cowards. That's why you're even here, because of a coward. It wouldn't have went this far. Between two brothers, he couldn't come talk to me. Man, come on, bro. If it wasn't that scenario, I would understand. Any other scenario, I would understand. I know how he really felt about me, and I know what the real problem was. That's why he couldn't confront me. He couldn't even look me in my face. If I was you, I would have a problem with that. That's right. Two brothers, why couldn't he talk to him? Hold up. That's a whole different dynamic that we overlook. He could have easily talked to him. He could have easily handled his own business. If he wanted to do something to his brother, he could have easily done it. Why he ain't do it on his own? Why he ain't handle his own business? That's what you should be asking. See how that's shaky, right? It's shaky, right? Why he didn't handle his own business? I was there in Charlotte. So why he didn't handle his business? Why he didn't talk to me? That's what you should be asking. Because he ain't built like that, man. That's what I'm saying. He's a fraudulent person, bro. You could be a dangerous person and still be fraudulent. That's food for thought. You could be dangerous but fraudulent. I can show you plenty weirdos out here that's dangerous, but when it comes to their soul and their heart and how they do things, ain't nothing there. There's nothing there. They could be violent. That's why I always put violence now as the last result, because I'm able to handle my business without doing that. I'm able to talk as a man, and I'd rather injure you as a character before I hit you physically. If I injure you as a character, you gotta live with that. If I hit you in your head about who you are as a person, you gotta live with that. You ain't gonna get that off very easily. A fight, you can shake that off, but if I injure you and how you handle this whole situation as black people, that's gonna be better. You handled it wrong, man. I'd rather put that in your head than punch you in your head. Punch in your head, you gonna walk away thinking whatever you thinking you won, thinking I won. Still crazy. Still bugged out. But when you know you handled it the wrong way, listen, man, I don't know what else you want me to say. See, the truth is, without insinuating it or saying it, well, the insinuation is, I'm going to be a scapegoat for you doing the wrong thing. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you the reason why it is not going to go like that. Because God is on my side. I am a prophet of God. Now, in some other cases, you could sweep somebody under the rug and say, oh, we made a mistake, but we ain't going to die for it. See, that's how some people think. Oh, we made a mistake, but the whole world ain't going to fall apart. That's how most people going to think. Oh, we made a mistake, but we ain't gonna all die because of that. Well, I'm sorry to tell you. I'm going to tell you what the problem is. I wasn't the only one you did that to, and they not telling you that. Oh, I count even in my own life. They gang stalked the women in my life, and they didn't even do anything wrong. black women that they gang stalked the Freemasons. See, it's no way around this, bruh. It's not, bro. It's no way around it. They gang stalked my women. And what that's self-explanatory. Okay, what is my sexuality? Women. Keyword, women. More than one. They seen me with more than one woman. And they still could bring themselves to gang stalk. See, so that's how we know it wasn't about no sexuality. At some point, it became a game for them to just win. That's it. That's what nobody's admitting. Nobody's going to really say that like I am. It became a game whether I was right or wrong. They just wanted to win no matter what they was doing. See, you don't want to admit that was the real energy. The real energy was they were just out here wild trying to win a game. Corny, lame, out here trying to win. See, that was the real energy. Now you try to get on my level like it's something to talk about, and it's nothing to talk about. You can't get on my level. I can sit down here and talk about it intelligently. You can't do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. You can't do the same thing, man. And so what is there really to discuss between me and you? Nothing. That's why, listen, and that explains why you just move around and walk around and playing games like you're doing, because you ain't got no real conversation. What you gonna talk about when you finally talk to me? What you heard? Okay, you can't be serious. Okay, so what's the details of what you heard? What's the details? What's the details? Do you know the details of what happened? So why would you believe something that you don't know the details to? You don't know the details. Then who's going to entertain that? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's just, you came out here and you did not have receipts. You did not have no energy. You trying to see it in the spiritual world, but that's not going to be good enough. We not going to let that be good enough. Because see, that kind of spirit, I got weapons for people like that. I'm not, what I'm supposed to do? Sit there and listen to it? I'm not going to listen to it. I got weapons. If you want to take it, now if you want to have a conversation, you're not going to have nothing to say. See, I'm not your child. I'm a grown man. And if you can't confront me like a grown man, then what we doing? We not handling it as men handle it. I'm handling mine as a man's supposed to handle it. You not. You playing a boy's position. I call it how it is. You played in the field, and people want you dead at secret societies. That's the truth. Let's cut to the chase. People want you dead, bro. Whether you think whatever you think, they want you dead because they told you to stop playing and you kept playing games. That's the real politics. Let's talk about the real politics where you know you almost dead for this stuff. But you trying to find a way to make me liable, and they know now. They smart enough to know. All you trying to do is trying to speak, trying to move around and manipulate. You desperate to accuse me. It's too late for that. It's self-explanatory. It's too late for that, and I got weapons just in case you get desperate enough to want to challenge me. I'm smart enough to do that too. I ain't gonna be out here slipping. If you think I was, you listen. I'm not. I'm not slipping. So all that yell, rah stuff. Listen, what you think I'm gonna do if you play with me? Huh? I got my weapons, buddy. That's what we keep weapons for. When people cannot talk and like reasonable men and women. When we can't do that, guess what? I got my weapons. I guarantee you my weapon. Listen, the weapons I got will kill a 600-pound man. I got good weapons, buddy. I ain't got no pocket knife. Let me tell you something. I could be whatever you say I am, but if you can't prove it and you can't confront me, then we just playing games. You just playing games, bro. How I see it, because me, I can confront anybody on what I need to confront them on. That's what I'm gonna do. If I was in your position, I would have been confronted the person. I ain't gonna sit up and just be playing around for all this time. Nah, I'm gonna confront the person and see what it is. But see, the truth is, some of y'all was ghetto and you enjoyed the entertainment. And that's what nobody wants to admit. And then you want to get serious when it's time to get serious, when stuff gets serious in the streets. Now you want to get serious, but the truth is, you was a nigga that wanted entertainment. That's all it is. Now you want to, now it's getting serious, and now you want to act like you're serious. You wasn't serious. How you gonna be serious? And I was here all this time and nobody ain't say nothing to me. You should have came to me way earlier. And that's how people look at it. Now, just like it is in the jungle, you become the prey. You become the prey. You become prey and get preyed on because you wasn't strong enough like the rest of us. You wasn't strong. You was a weak animal. You came up and you played in the field with the beast of the field and you became prey. It happens all the time. It's like being around big old pit bulls and you a chihuahua, but you couldn't grow in the time that you needed to, and now you're around all these pit bulls. What you think gonna happen? You're gonna get torn to pieces. That's all I'm saying. You know, we know what it really is. You couldn't confront the situation. That's what it is. You wasn't man enough to do it. Listen, I would have had that one-on-one talk with anybody if they was man enough to do it. Cause I'm glad to clear the air about this. I've been wanting to do it, but now I don't care. It's a lost cause. See, you know, I mean, I just do it for the sake of doing it. You know, now, you know, but you know, I've been wanting to have. I ain't been running from this conversation because I know what this all is really about. I know what it's all about, and you don't. You how could you know? You ain't been in my family. You're not part of my family. So how could you know? So I'm just on the outside like you. I'm on the outside of this situation like you. No, I'm not. I know stuff that you don't know. See, in your arrogance, you thought you knew everything about this situation. I know things about this situation that you do not know, right? You couldn't have possibly knew. And once I tell you this information, you're going to see it my way. You're going to see everything my way. And you're going to realize, you're going to either be a man or a boy about it. You're going to realize you got played. You're going to realize you got played because nothing else is adding up. When it don't add up, what that means? It's a lie. It's a lie. Common sense. But a stupid person think, well, we just need to do this. We need to do that. No, you don't. If it's not adding up, more like, think about if it was you. It wouldn't add up, right? So then what if we just kept trying you over and over again? Put yourself in a situation. We keep trying you over and over again. Eventually, bro, listen, you're going to believe. The bottom line is you're going to believe what you want to believe, what you was already inclined to believe. That's all it is. I know that. I'm smart enough to know that. My thing is this, like I said, if somebody should have came to me and told me what it was so I can defend myself against the information. See, the big dogs, the real gangsters say, well, he should be able to defend himself against the information. Just like he in court. If you in court, they ain't going to just arrest you. You're going to go to court and you're going to be able to defend yourself against the information. Even on the streets, you can't be so ghetto that a person can't do that. You think about what I'm saying. In other situations, with gangsters, you're going to hear the information. Right or wrong. If it was two gangsters, you're going to hear both gangsters going to hear the information. Not just one. Not just over there on that side. They going to tell you on your side what it is. They're going to be brave enough, bold enough to tell you, okay, this is what it was. This is what this really was about. Okay, you can defend yourself against that information. You can say, oh, wait, hold up. When did that happen? Oh, you might be told some stuff that I don't even know. I don't know nothing about it. How do I know that? How do I know you walking around with information that never happened? How do I know that? The only way we know that is if you told me the information. I'm just saying. I hate to talk to people like idiots, but you know, if you told me the information, then you can say, well, we told him everything that it was. Then we got the response from him, but after telling him everything that it was. That's how the streets move. That's what I'm saying. So see, you came into a situation where you couldn't even play the full position, and that's how I feel. How I feel? Y'all ain't built to play that position. And how we know? Because you couldn't go the full distance of what it takes to play that position. By now somebody should have came to me. Somebody, I don't care who it is. It could be a beautiful woman. It could be, I don't care who it is. Somebody And then so that you can say for the record, this person heard what the problem was. Not, oh, he don't even know what it is. How you know? How I know for sure what it is? How you know that it's information that I don't that never happened? How you know that's not the case? So it's just arrogance. So that's how I won. And see, the bottom line is, it comes to a point where how I feel is some people playing with you like you're a punk, and that's why I got weapons. Because how I feel is, this is really the punchline. If it would have been any other gangster or somebody that you feared, once you seen I was minding my business, most people that was scared of that person, or you know that person is a threat, right? You would have fell back. If you ain't got no information, you ain't got nothing credible. You didn't do that with me. So see, I got now information on you against you to the streets where, we feel like you played with me because you thought I was a punk. It's that simple, and I know how niggas think anyway. So half of them do think they can play with you because they think you a punk. How I figure that out? How did I figure that out? Without even knowing you, how did I figure that out? Because if it was anybody that you were scared of, if it was the streets or gangsters with guns and credibility, if you came and if you had a complaint against them, you would have been one to get rid of that beef quick as possible. So guess what you would have did? Exactly what I said. You wouldn't want that beef to linger. So guess what you would have did? You would have brought somebody to that person so it can just get squashed, so we can get it all figured out, so we can move along, right? So when you brought somebody to that person, you can see full armies do this. Iran is doing this with America right now. Full armies have to do this. You could be killing each other and you still got to talk to each other. See, that's what makes you unprofessional. You don't understand. You're in a war, buddy. And you still got to be professional enough to have communication. You still got to do that. See, good people get killed because of a lack of communication. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I done went through all the issues. What else am I supposed to do? Play their part too? They not playing their part because they not built like that. I'm playing my part. If it was the streets, I'm saying, this is exactly how I'll be talking. I'm saying everything I need to say. I ain't even thinking like they suckers, and I know. They ain't killers, man. You know what I mean? I could play it like that and give you my butt to kiss. I could say, I don't care what you think. I could walk through you and dare you to touch me. But I took the time to show you the same protocol or behavior that I would with somebody on the streets. I said, but you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it, though. You don't deserve that level. But it's my self-respect. I'm going to have the same attitude and behavior that I would have with street people. I'm going to show you exactly how it's supposed to go. How it's supposed to go is you supposed to have somebody come talk to me. Not you sit in the background like boys and girls with a dangerous person. You don't supposed to do that. You supposed to bring somebody to me. And if you can't do that, you can't go the full distance. That's what the problem is. I'm going the full distance. I'm telling you everything that you need to know. What it's all about. I've been through these politics too many times. I'm not doing it no more. That's why I ain't even talking through it. Now I'm showing you what you're supposed to do. That's it. I ain't going into what it's all about. I know what it's about. But I'm going into what you supposed to do now. That's progression. I'm showing you what you supposed to do. What you supposed to do is you supposed to have somebody come to me, because I know for sure it's other information that's a lie. Like they said in America, they telling people in America, I rape teenage girls. I rape teenage girls? They telling the people in the streets, this is what I've been through. I know this for sure. They told, and this is why they did it, because they couldn't get nothing to stick on me. They had to say, this is what the beginning with people that we know ain't criminals. How we know they weren't criminals? Because how that fizzled down was a thug and a gangster gonna say, if he raped teenage girls, he wouldn't be walking the streets. See, once they gave that to the streets gonna say what I was saying. Because criminals understand crime and how it go, right? So if you rape teenage girls, you wouldn't even made it out of the city that you did it. If them girls went to the police, you wouldn't have even made it out the city. Don't you know them people told, don't you know these same secret society people told people I raped teenage girls more than one. But that's how we know they weren't criminals. Because they just threw something out there. And to see if it stick against the wall, right? They just try to see if something stick against the wall. But they wasn't criminals. That's how we know. A criminal gonna say, well, I can't say that because what sense would it make for him be walking around and he ain't even acting like he did anything? Because I'm never gonna act like I did anything. Look how he's walking around. If he raped teenage girls, they gonna get him off the streets, buddy. How he gonna rape more than one and he on the streets? Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. If they even describe you, they even describe your looks, they getting you off the streets. Height and everything, and build, how you look, and then I had distinguished hair, how I wore my hair and everything. Listen, man, I was too unique in every sense of the word for me to have raped teenage girls and they ain't get me off the streets. How I even wore my hair was just a giveaway. Permed hair, all that straight hair like that. Man, that's a giveaway. They would have been, if I did a crime, and that would have told you also, if I was doing some type of crazy crimes, look how he wear his hair and everything. They would have been picked him off the streets. They would have been picked him up off the streets if he did something. So that's what I'm saying. I can show you one lie that destroyed this whole credibility, and the secret societies ain't telling you that. You want to hear the lie? Well, I raped teenage girls. Guess what that's gonna do in court? In court, that's gonna get all of it thrown out. If you went to court and they said you raped teenage girls and they found out that wasn't true, all the other stuff get thrown out, bro. Yes, it do. It's all in the same pot. That's in the same pot of all that other stuff. So see, that's another reason why I feel it's definitely necessary for people to have told me what it was that you heard. I'm a spiritual person. I know they were saying I raped teenage girls, right? Teenage girls, right? And this is why they did it. They said that so when I left from cross country from Florida to California, when I went from Georgia to California, they said that so that would stick on me as I was going to the West Coast. They wanted to put a lie on me while I was going to the West Coast. That's what made perfect sense why they said it at that place and time. Makes perfect sense. They knew none of that stuff was going to work. They kept trying to tell people that same stuff over and over and over again. Whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't working. They went and created a lie. You know, and someone came to me and told me it was about something I did when I was young. Okay, so then first of all, I'm going to win that. Whatever it is. See, you should have knew somebody was going to come to me and be on my side. Guess what they told me? It was something I did when I was young. You think I care about what I did when I was young? You know what's the best excuse? That you was a young child yourself. A child, that's the best excuse. If I tell you I was a child, that's the absolute best excuse for anything that you do. Ain't no better excuse. What's a better excuse? Being a child is the best excuse, sucker. So if it was something that you heard when I was a child, that's the best excuse. That's the best excuse, sucker. You a clown. You don't know how to judge things. As grown men do. That's why. Listen, the best excuse for a man gonna say, you was a child. Okay, well, we don't judge children like grown men. Do you judge children the same way you judge? Of course you don't. You the main ones out here keep talking about these children. I know you don't judge children like you judge men. So you judge them differently, don't you? Okay, so then see where you contradict yourself. If you heard I did something as a child, you gonna judge him? You gonna judge that like I was a grown man doing that? Was I a grown man doing it? Okay, so how you gonna judge it? You ain't gonna look at it as a grown man was doing it. You gonna look at it like a grown man did that? See, that's the insinuation as if you did that as a grown man. No, that's where it gets tricky. People Jedi mind trick. They'll act like that's your nature now as a man. Is it your nature now as a man? Okay, then you should be able to prove it. You should be able to prove that from childhood to adulthood, you're doing the same thing. You can't prove it, can you? No, you can't prove it. So then guess what people do? That's sound of mind. They leave what you did as a child in childhood. They leave what you did as a child in childhood. Just like Vegas, what stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in childhood stays in childhood. And I hate to tell you, that's how it is. What happens in childhood stays in childhood, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. Ain't no grown man gonna judge you because you didn't have an adult brain in that situation, did you? Did you have an adult mind in that situation? So did you think like a grown man in that stuff that they talking about? So you thought like a child. You had the brain of a child in that situation, didn't you? Don't you know a child's brain is not even developed? A child's brain is not even developed, right? A child's brain is not even developed. So you judging a human being whose brain is not even fully developed. But you judging it like a grown man, the brain of a man was in that situation. So was the brain of a man in that situation? It wasn't. But the insinuation is to give him a standard of judgment as if he was a man doing it. That's what you're doing. You're placing a standard that you would place on a man for something you heard a person was doing as a child. But the standard is if he was like a grown man doing it. See, if you're not smart, you won't even realize that's what you're insinuating. Because when you realize it was a child, you're gonna say, well, ain't nothing we can do. You ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, that's a child molester. Well, hold on, no he wasn't. He was a child himself. Wasn't he a child himself? Well then no, you can't say he grew up and thought the same way, because kids gonna have sex with other kids. Kids gonna have sex with other kids. Now if you grow up and you have time to grow into being a man, and you with a grown, and you with children, not with the same people, because they could be grown and you still could be doing stuff. But you are thinking about children as a grown man, that's where you can say a person is some type of sex predator or something. So if you're not smart enough to know what you're doing, bro, listen, get out the game, bro, before you get hurt. Get yourself hurt. Because I don't fear nobody. I'm just letting you know. I ain't pleading my case. I'm just letting you. I just can't let people think they doing something they not doing. That's just my thing. You know, I can't let you act like you out here doing something you not doing. You ain't seeing me, in other words. I'm too educated. A grown man, y'all judge things like what you heard about me, like I was a grown man doing it. Was I a grown man? I wasn't, was I? Okay, so then you have to judge the situation as, okay, a child never does a sex act 100% seriously, right? So it's not 100% serious, a sex act that a child do, right? So if a child does a sex act, is it 100% serious? So it's probably 40% serious, right? Or 30% serious. So it's not like you can even say, this person really wanted to do this, or he really wanted to do that. So you can't say it's 100% accurately serious that he really wanted to do this, and he was really serious about doing this. You can't say that, can you? With a child, right? So the sex act of a child is 30% to 10% serious. Put in a sense of cruelty. Children are cruel. Put in cruelty. 20% cruelty. Put in another 10% of humor. Oh, well, a child gonna be silly doing stuff sexual. See, you think about it in the nature of man, like he dead serious doing this as a child. A child is gonna do things and not be even halfway serious about what they doing. That's what I'm saying. And see, that's how grown men judge things, and no niggas that's boys should be out here judging things like boys and niggas. I call it how it is. If a child ain't gonna do nothing at 100% serious, like, oh, he really meant that, didn't he? Think about it. Oh, he really meant to do that. So a sex act isn't 100% serious, is it? No, it's not. So then what is it? It's 10% serious, 20% humor, 30% cruelty. You see what I'm saying? That's how you make up the sex acts of children. Now, when you're a grown man, your intention is 100% on how the person looks, and people hold you to that. The age they are, and people hold you to that, right? But when you a child, you can't even put all that together like that. You can't say like a man, like, oh, well, obviously, as a man, his intentions is to be with that woman. I mean, he wanted that type of woman. He wanted, and when they had a sex act, he intended on doing just that. He's a child, a man. He knew what he was doing, right? You can't say that for a child. A child comes into a sex act experimenting, not even halfway serious. A sense of humor, cruelty, and all of that in there. And that's how you judge it. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? See, and you can't judge, and no matter what it is, you can't judge it. Who are you to judge it any other way? You can't judge it like it's 100% a serious sex act, right? So if a child do something, I have the right to judge and say, well, that child was 100% serious about that. We mad because that child was 100% serious about what it was doing. A child was 100% serious about what sex act they were doing? See what I'm saying? See how you made a fool of yourself? This is why I say, man, people see how I broke that down. See how I broke that down, bro? You could do nothing on your side, on the opposite side of this spectrum, to talk just like me about the situation. And I know that you are out here playing with me. I know that. And that's that. And so I want you to know that I'm an armed man and I'm ready to kill if I got to. I want you to know that too. Okay? Because you might think that you can continue to play this position because you losing and your country is, listen, and they ready to kill you and you want to make me the scapegoat. Ain't gonna work, buddy. See, if I was a nice person, but I'm not, some people would just die. Well, they saying all this stuff about me and I'm gonna just die. I'm sorry, I can't die for you, buddy. I can't die for you. Jesus died for you. We in a time where we reflect on Jesus dying for people. I can't die for you, little buddy. Jesus died for you. And if you had received him, you wouldn't be in the situation you in right now. You wouldn't even be playing the position you in right now. So ain't nobody fearful of you. I just want to let you know what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? This country is messed up because of that gay and lesbian marriage. That's what we talk about. Well, I don't care. Listen, we talking about real stuff we can see. This is why this country is totally destroyed. Israel got gay and lesbian sexual activity. Israel got gay and lesbian sexual activity legalized since 1988. Now, what I want Christians to do is I want you to go back and look at how all these preachers was talking about Israel is the Holy Land, etc., over all these years when you first became a Christian. Remember all those TV ministries back in the early 2000s, like John Hagee talking about Israel and everything. Well, Israel has legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity in 1988. So the whole time John Hagee and these other ministries was talking about Israel being the Holy Land, the whole time from 1988 they had legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity on Israeli soil. On Israeli soil, they had already legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity. Did you know that as a Christian? That they had, by law, in Israel, you can go Google it for yourself. Go Google gay and lesbian laws in Israel. Listen, God woke me up one day. God woke me up one morning, one night, and I can't make this up, bro. I heard in my inner hearing, Like, go look up gay and lesbian laws in Israel. When I looked that up, I was so surprised, man. I couldn't believe it. Israel legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity back in 1988. Back in 1988. They've been let's put it together. They have been gay. Israel, the land, the country Israel that Christians always talk about here in America. Israel has been gay and lesbian for since 1988. And what? That's 38 years, 40 more years. 2 more years is gonna be 40 years. So Israel is in trouble with God, buddy. That's the punchline. That's why all this stuff is going on. Israel ain't gonna make it. Israel has been having sex with gay and lesbian sexual activity since 1988. This is for righteous people. This is for all these American Christians that's talking about homosexuality and lesbianism. Well, okay, did you know, for the Republican Christians, did you know that they legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity in 1988? Did you know that? Okay, so you didn't know that. So see, the whole time you was talking about Israel and God protecting Israel, most of the times people was talking about that, man. Listen, it was in their own ignorance that they was talking about it. It was in their own ignorance that they was talking about it. They was not talking about it educated, because if you was educated, you would have knew that Israel had legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity in 1988. Okay? So God ain't been with Israel for almost 40 years. That's how you need to hear it. And listen, it's not picking on anybody. It's not picking on gay or lesbian, whatever it would be. I'm going to tell you, if it's a sin, God ain't going to be with them if they got it in the laws. I don't care what it is. It just so happened to be something that everybody here wants to be identified with. But if it was, it wouldn't matter what it was. I'm going to still talk about it. If it's a sin and it's in the laws and it separates God from a country. If it separates God from a country, I don't care what it is, I'm going to talk about it. So it just so happens to be something that many people identify with these days. That's just how it is. That's how I'm going to tell you how it is for me. And I will be talking about it, whatever it was. I'll be talking about it. If it separates people from God, it does. It separates people from God. If you put it in the laws, that's the problem. That's like blasphemous, the opposite of God. That's the opposite of 10 commandments. Is to put commandments as sin. That's blasphemous. That's satanic. Now you see what I'm saying. Israel legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity in 1988. So this whole time, that's 38 years, right? 38 years ago. This whole time it ain't been right. It hasn't been right. And now that's why all this stuff is happening. See, what I realized, hallelujah, what I realized is that in the last days, how we thought Israel was going to be this holy land and everything was going to be wicked around Israel. Nope. You know how it happened? Israel became wicked in the last days, and that's how you know it's the end. Now you got the real last days. The last days where Israel legalized gay and lesbian sexual activity. See that part? That's the real last days, where even Israel has got gay and lesbian laws right now. And a matter of fact, they got the best, most progressive laws in far as lesbian and gay activity in the whole East. The whole Far East. That's how it puts it on Wikipedia. On Wikipedia, it puts it that Israel has the most progressive laws, some to that degree, concerning gay and lesbian sexual activity. Oh, I ain't done. Guess what? Guess what else? Ask me what else. Israel legalized gay and lesbian marriage July 2022. Boom. Israel, the country Israel, legalized gay and lesbian marriage July 2022. 3 years ago, going on 4 years ago. 15 months later, after they legalized gay and lesbian marriage, they were attacked October 7th by Hamas. See, that's how a prophet lines it up. You see how I lined it up? See how I put that together? They passed gay and lesbian marriage laws July 2022. 15 months later, 2023, October 7th, they were attacked by Hamas. 15 months later, after passing gay and lesbian marriage laws in Israel for the first time, listen, as a Christian, listen with your spiritual ears. When Israel passed gay and lesbian marriage laws, 15 months later, they were attacked by Hamas. You think that's a coincidence? 15 months later, after passing gay and lesbian marriage, 15 months later, you get attacked by Hamas. You go into war and all of that after 15 months later, after you pass gay and lesbian marriage laws. Not even 2 years later, you're in full-blown war. Israel was in full-blown war after passing gay and lesbian marriage laws. You see how I'm showing you how this corrupts the community, how it curses the community. Israel is right there with America. America passed gay and lesbian marriage. Less than 10 years, they got COVID. COVID was worse here than anywhere else. Do you think these are coincidences? They're not. These gay and lesbian marriage laws have cursed lands, more than one. Marrying gay and lesbian people, it have cursed the land. It has cursed more than one land. And that's what a prophet should be telling you. That's what I'm trying to show you. It's not just about giving you prophecies. It's also about exposing things that you was not aware of. You didn't know. Listen, most of these Christians in America, man, you did not know. Be honest. You didn't know America had passed gay and lesbian marriage in all 50 states. The whole country. That happened June 2015. Israel passed gay and lesbian marriage laws July 2022. 15 months later, they got attacked by Hamas because they are no longer protected by God. They are no longer protected by God. That's why it happened. As soon as they pass gay and lesbian marriage laws, 15 months later, they get attacked by Hamas. You think it's a coincidence? Or has God's hand been removed from Israel? 15 months later, you see what Gaza and all that was. That was 15 months. The beginning of it was 15 months later after Hamas. After Israel passed laws, gay and lesbian laws in Israel to marry gay and lesbian people. That happened. Those laws were passed, and 15 months later, not even 2 years later, 15 months later, Hamas attacks Israel and all the Gaza war started. 15 months later. By July of 2024, you see how much stuff happened? 2 years later, look what happened. Look at what Israel was doing. Look at all the killing they was doing. Look at them now. It didn't get better. It's not going to get better. Because God has a problem with gay and lesbian marriage passed over a nation every single time. And if that happened to Israel, what you think gonna happen to you as Americans? You could pass it back and forth. If this happened to America, what you think gonna happen to Israel? Okay? I'm showing you the real weather, what's really going on. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you've been gay or lesbian yourself or not, I don't care. I'm showing you why these things are happening, and you choose to have a problem with the topic that I'm talking about. I'm not hung up on the topic. I'm looking at something that is not clean to God, and this is what caused the problem. Okay? I'm showing you the time frame, which makes common sense. Okay, in the last 10 years, you passed gay and lesbian marriage. Look at what happened in the past 10 years. Look at the past 10 years. Everybody will say, most people will say, the world became funny. Glory to Yahweh. The world became funny around 2015, 2016. I said 2016 myself. This was my discernment before I just put this together. The world became funny around 2016. A year later, after passing gay and lesbian marriage, I noticed a difference. You didn't notice a difference? While everybody talking about 2020, I remember, and it did change in 2020. Everybody changed. But 2016 was when I noticed the world was starting to change. All this crazy stuff out here. The energy was off. The things was weird and strange. And that's when everything, all these spirits started coming out here, playing with people, playing in people's face and all this stuff. I noticed that around 2016. I noticed a distinguished energy difference in 2016, which was a year later after passing gay and lesbian marriage laws in America. It was a year later. That's about right. So the world changed. America changed around 2015. Now, whether you want to talk about and celebrate your love for the gay community or not, that's not what I'm harping on. That's not the factor. What I'm talking about, you see how I sidestepped that as a whole issue? That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to, in a mature fashion, unclean things that God esteems as unclean, not my biased opinion. What God esteems as unclean. How these laws, how these unclean things were manufactured, if you will, into the laws. And that cursed our country. That cursed America, and it cursed Israel. Israel is not the righteous country you thought it was. They passed gay and lesbian gay and lesbian sexual activity in 1988. In the 80s. They've been gay. Let this sink into your mind. Let this be food for thought. Israel has been gay and lesbian since the 80s. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Israel has been gay since the 80s, bruh. That means all the 90s they were gay. And they was doing stuff all through the 90s. That was their best time. Because they had never really done nothing like that. So it was hot over there with gay lust and lesbian lust in the 90s. 90s was was their best time, wasn't it? Because that was right at the end of the 80s. So the 90s was it. That was it for them. And then, you got wars in the world. Things got more complicated. It was more other things to focus on. 9/11 and all of that. And, they had their own issues over there. But, the 90s was probably their time. And all these people talking about Israel is the Holy Land. It ain't been the Holy Land since 1988. If you contaminate the land, it's still holy. The land ain't holy just at all costs. You got to do stuff. And see, that's the problem with most Christians. You've been esteeming Israel as holy without them doing stuff and doing the right stuff. You can't do that with America. You can't do it with Israel. You can't do it with yourself. If you're not doing the right stuff, you cannot be esteemed as holy. That's what I'm talking about. And collectively, it's the same thing. And if it was any other sin, I don't care what it was. I'll be telling you the same thing just in case you think it's the gay part or I don't care what part it is. See, that's what a righteous person gonna tell you. Whatever it is that separate me from God, I don't want to do it. Whatever it is, and I practice that with my own life. Am I perfect? No, but I can tell you this: I ain't had sex in a whole year, a full year. Nobody. While you talking about whatever you talking about, making a fool of yourself, I have not had sex with nobody but my ex-wife in the past year. That's it, a female. So, what that tells you? Tells you everything. It tells you about my sexuality. It tells you what I'm doing today. I'm not even having sex today. Okay? Let alone anything else you talking about. See, that's how I know it's you and it's not me, because my mind ain't even on sex. See, I'm in that righteous zone now, buddy. I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone now, buddy, spiritually. I ain't thinking about no sex. I done closed the door. I ain't smoking no weed. I ain't smoking no cigarettes. I ain't smoked cigarettes in 2 years. 2 years. And you think I'm worried about what you're talking about? No, I'm focused on my sobriety. Something you should be focused on. I'm focused on, I ain't smoked cigarettes in 2 years, and you want to quit, and you still ain't quit. But you say you're a strong person. Well, why you ain't quit smoking cigarettes? You so strong and mighty, you so spiritual, why you can't quit smoking? Well, if you so spiritual, I mean, you should be able to stop anything you're doing. You should be able to control yourself. I ain't smoked cigarettes in 2 years. And I bought packs. Packs and packs and packs. I grew up smoking. I grew up smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes and drinking. And by the time I was a grown man, I was just like most people, smoking my cigarettes and drinking my coffee. Drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. Some people don't know nothing about it. I used to wake up like that. Go fix my coffee, smoke my cigarettes, watch my little TV show, drink my coffee, smoke my cigarette. One of the best experiences out there with these vices. And I can say honestly, I haven't smoked not even a clip, a cigarette, but see, that's what you should be paying attention to. That's what you should be paying attention to. Oh, he ain't smoked cigarettes in 2 years. Wow. Oh, he ain't been smoking weed. He ain't smoked weed. Not even a roach, not even a clip. In 2 years. Oh, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm focused on. Because that's telling me who that person is. That's telling me what he's doing. What type of person he is. I used to smoke weed. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke, smoke weed, cigarettes, Black and Milds, cigars, all that stuff. Any kind of tobacco. You keep thinking stuff that nobody care about anyway. That's what I'm saying. Nobody don't care nothing about no sex predators. I mean, what you, a white boy? Well, pedophile. It sounds like a parrot. Pedophile. Like, who cares, man? The whole world, this whole country is marrying children. It's a fallen world. That's what I call it. It's a fallen world. Nobody cares, buddy. You look retarded out here talking about something that's a drop in the bucket compared to marrying children. They're marrying children. And you're talking about what? A pedophile? Okay, buddy, it's a whole bucket over here of marrying children. It's a whole bucket of marrying children over here. And what you're talking about is a drop in the bucket. But you're just an ignorant person. You can't see that, can you? Yeah, like that part. You can't see the fact that what you're talking about is a drop in the bucket. Yeah, he's one person. You got child marriage in your country. That's what you need to be focused on, but you ain't built like that. So guess what? The prophet got to be the one to put in the groundwork and the footwork to talk about it. Yeah. Like you about these children. Now, if you was, then why you ain't know nothing about child marriage? See, we two different types of people, buddy. I'm educated, you not. And we ain't together just because I'm doing this. See, you'll think because you had this cause for children and I'm talking about this, that me and you together. No, because I don't respect you. Because I don't respect how you do things. That's why me and you and people like you could never be together. Because I don't come out here, the difference between me and you is I don't come out here without no receipts. I don't come out here on anybody, especially a black man, if I can't prove it. No, I don't torture black people. I go to war. I go to war and go ahead and put you out your misery. But I don't torture people and play games around people's head, because that's what these white folks was doing. That's what these white people was doing. I don't do that. See, I go ahead and put take care of my business. But torture a nigga, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? No. Nah, I don't torture. I don't care if it's about children or not. I go ahead and kill that person if I got to. I ain't gonna torture a nigga. I'm gonna go ahead and kill him. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And see, I done been around somebody that done killed a pedophile. You ever looked in the eyes of a man that killed a pedophile? I have. That's the difference between me and you. While you talking about it, I am about it. I done been around somebody that killed one of them people. He killed the pedophile. He killed one. He killed a black man that was a pedophile. I looked into the eyes of a man. You ever done that? I looked into the eyes of a man that killed a pedophile. Have you ever done that? You haven't, have you? So see, that's what I'm talking about, buddy. I'm so credible. Listen, man, listen. Police can't even say that. Some of these police can't even say it. Oh, you looked in the eyes of a man that killed a pedophile, like face to face? Many times you might have haven't. Just because you're a policeman don't mean you have. I looked into the eyes of a man that killed a pedophile, and I got his respect. So what that tells you? You see what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. I'm so credible. Look at that, man. You ever looked in the eyes of a man that killed a pedophile? But see, you think you about that, and I'm showing you people, like, I'm talking about a person like that put him in the grave. He's still in the grave somewhere. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference between my path and yours? You see how it goes in the opposite direction of what you've been told. Where I done been around somebody that killed a pedophile, and he respected me. Oh, that was less than 10 years ago, by the way. That was in the past 10 years. Come on, man, stop playing, bro. See, the truth is, like I said, it's other things that went on, like you being ghetto and just wanting to come out here. It wasn't a pure motive and pure cause, it wasn't. It wasn't. How we know? Because you would be equipped for a pure cause. You will be equipped to do that work. If you don't know the laws, how can you do the work? You gotta know the laws to enforce. If you're law enforcers, how you know what laws to enforce if you don't know the laws? So if they're marrying children, how can you enforce laws against pedophiles? They're marrying children. I couldn't be a police officer, because how you gonna be a police officer and they're marrying children? How can you enforce against pedophiles and a pedophile's marrying a child? By law. By law now. So how can you be a law enforcer against a pedophile when they have laws to marry children? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. So see, it's just a lost cause, bro. It's just a lost cause for me. It ain't gonna get no better, man. So I'm sorry you couldn't make me a scapegoat. I can't be your scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real dude, which means I'm gonna stand up and speak for myself. I'm gonna stand up and show you what I'm made of, buddy. I'm gonna show you what I'm made of. And I'm gonna still, when the dust settles, I'm gonna still be right here talking like I am. That's how I'm built. That's how I'm built, buddy. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff is happening, man, because people ain't doing the right thing. It's the same thing. Whether it's the gay marriage, whether it's gang stalking, out here playing in people's business. Oh, another scripture I gotta look up is a busybody in other men's matters. That's the scripture I gotta look up. Being a busybody in other men's matters. When you are just you ain't really discerning. You're not really trying to know who the person is. You just sipping tea with 4 lemons. You just sipping tea with 4 lemons in it, ain't you? You just want to know. You just want to know about this person. You just a ghetto person that just want to know what's going on. You just want to be in the know, don't you? You just want to be in the know, don't you? You just want to be in the know, don't you? That's all it is. You just want to know what's going on, just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And it's so, you just want to know for your own pleasure. You think, you listen, I wouldn't be black if I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Not at least I wouldn't be relevant. I wouldn't be relevant as a black relevant person if I didn't know that there's people out here that just want to know your business just to know it. That's all. They don't got no good intentions. And half of these people, that's what it's been. You obsessing over me just because. And just because you've been doing it certain amount of time, that made the obsession worse and worse and worse. The longer it went on, the more obsessive it became. So that's why all of this is happening. I can't die for you. I'll kill me somebody before I die, buddy. I'm telling you right now, what you think I would do? Based on all this stuff you hear, you think I'm playing? I'll kill me somebody before I die, buddy. That's real. Especially when I know your country is marrying children, and then you playing in my face. Look at how I would do. Look how I feel. Look at how I see this. You ain't looking at the whole picture. You listen. You over there thinking whatever you thinking. What I'm thinking is y'all marrying children. How can you think you can stand up on me? That's what I'm thinking. And as soon as you do, guess what, buddy? Listen, I'll take you straight to hell from this building. I'll take you to hell. You'll go right to Hades from this building. I'll put you right in Hades in this building and take my charge. I'll go right down to the bodega. I'll come out the building, go down to the bodega, and call the police and tell them to come pick me up. I turn myself in after I take you to Hades. Think I'm playing? Try your luck. What you think I'm going to do if I got weapons? Just let you play with me? You a very confident bastard, ain't you? You're a very confident bastard, ain't you? Confident that I won't do nothing to you. Well, you know, a wise man wouldn't play with somebody like me X amount of time and don't think he won't do nothing to you. Well, you done played with me a little too long. You think I'm playing games? Ain't nobody playing games with you, buddy. You tired of yourself. That's what the problem is. You tired of your funky self coming out here talking about something you don't know nothing about. You can't be tired of me because I ain't in your life for you to be tired of me. You tired of yourself as a whole community. You tired of yourself. And guess what? God gonna put you down, buddy. Because just like you want something to happen to me, that's all it is. You just want to see somebody die. It's not gonna happen. You a sick bastard that just want to see somebody die. But what's going to happen is God is going to take your life. Now they want you dead. Now the Americans want you dead. They want you dead. Now you looking around like a little startled chihuahua. You looking around like a little startled chihuahua. You know how a little chihuahua gets startled and look around? You looking around like a little startled chihuahua. Like a chihuahua. You looking around like a little startled chihuahua. You looking around like a little startled chihuahua. Yeah, man. Listen, man, I just want people to know I don't let nobody down. One thing I won't do is let people down about being real. That's the only thing, man. I don't let people down with being real. I wouldn't lead nobody on to think that I'm something I'm not. But am I perfect? No. I can show you I can be just like anybody else, man. Put yourself in the proper perspective. You know what I'm saying? People playing in your face, you're going to hate these people eventually. You're going to be honest now. Be honest. See, people get corny, man, and they don't pay attention to your emotions because that's what make you corny. You keep playing with somebody, you ain't paying attention to them, they changing. They less tolerant of the games you playing. But you sit up there and act like this person is the same. He done changed. You know what I'm saying? But you too corny to see it. That's the truth. You too corny to see the changes. You know, I done changed. Yes, I have. I know I have. But I changed so for me. I changed for it so it could benefit me. I changed for my better good, for my better situation where I don't even deal with people no more. That works for me. I tried to show love to people, but people just wanted to believe what they wanted to believe. You know what I'm saying? I came out and showed myself to the community, so then I don't have nothing to hide. But you wanted to believe what you wanted to believe when I was out there showing myself to the community. So that's what I'm saying. That's corny to me. Okay, the person you talking about, okay, he came out here, chill with the community, everything like that. Okay, but you wanted to still be stuck on what you wanted to believe, and that's it, man. So that's all. You know what I'm saying? I done came out there to the community. I done came out here to New York. I'm done with it, man. Ain't no need to do it again. I already did it. I did it many summers. I was coming out chilling with the whole community. You know what I'm saying? Out there just posted up. Out there posted up with my shirt off out there in the streets, and people seen me for who I was, man. So that's what I'm saying. How can you look at somebody out there in the summertime with his shirt off out there in the streets and he posted up and you can act like that guy got something to hide? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You played yourself, man. Am I perfect? No. You can find imperfections. And that's where we have to draw the line. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody gonna ever be perfect, including you. You're not perfect yourself. Okay. So, I get people up off me. Listen, you ain't perfect your darn self. No, you ain't perfect. You all out of pocket and everything. Playing with somebody else. So what? The world is ending anyway. You should be focusing on trying to get up out of this building and go try to have some fun before the world ends. That's what you should be trying to do. Because it ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. I'm not saying I'm gonna die, but whether I live or die, this is over. So if you one of them cartoon people that think, well, like I'm a Death Star, you know what I mean? And if he dies, then everything, the curse breaks off the country. Cartoons, buddy. Listen, you a cartoon, bro. Man, don't you see the writing on the wall? This is not gonna stop. It's too gone. It's too far gone. Just like that song, Wait to the night. Wait into tonight, girl. It's too far gone. He said it's too far gone. It's too far gone, man. It's too far gone. It's too far gone, bro. Sometimes it's too far gone, bro. It's too far gone. And that's real. You know what I'm saying? That's life. I mean, me, because I've been a married man, I know what it is to live again. I know what it is to move on and love again. You know what I'm saying? I don't get stuck on this. I'm not a tragic person by nature where I just get stuck on one situation and just worry about it. Life goes on, bro. Life goes on. That's what people got to learn. You know what I'm saying? The truth is, man, they miserable. They miserable already without you. You just become a punching bag because they miserable about life. And you gotta get people off that too. You become a target that everybody can focus on because they mad about other things. They mad that their life is over. The world is over. You know what I'm saying? That's why, listen, man, all I can tell you is that people got to get, I'm going to get my life right, keep my life right with God. I'm not going to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, but I'm going to keep getting my life, keep getting back up, staying pure, keep getting back up when I make mistakes, and keep moving forward. That's all we can do. That's the main focus right now, man. America is no good, man. It's no good. If you got hope in this country, you must be a fool. You done seen how racist these people are. You done seen, that ain't going nowhere. You know that's all in the government. You know that's all in the politics. You know that's all in these people. You can't get rid of all of that. It's infested. It's like a roach infested house. Some houses are so infested, you gotta burn it down. You gotta condemn the whole. If you're a landlord and you got money, If sometimes if the property is so infested, you can't do nothing about it because the roaches is in the wall. The roaches are in the wall. You can't you can bomb all day long. All the roaches gonna do is go in the wall. That's all they're gonna do. They're in between the walls. Once it's that infested, it's over. It's over. Ugh, man. If you bust open walls, you can see roaches everywhere, man. They just everywhere. That's where they at, in the walls. Think about it. If a house was in the wild, so to speak, where do you think the roaches gonna go? They gonna go into the wall. They ain't gonna stay out in the open the whole time. They gonna infest the walls. So you got to pull down the whole property. You got to pull. You can't. It ain't gonna ever get better because it's too infested. It's too infested in the walls and everything. That's why, some people already know that. But they just don't want they don't want to pay to start a new property. But sometimes it ain't no other choice. It ain't no other choice. It's just too infested. And that's how it is in America. It's too infested with racism, mental sickness, and psychosis, and crazy people. It's just too far gone, man. The only way it's gonna get better is if you tear down the whole system and rebuild it again. That's the only way. But this system right here that we got, you shouldn't even try to hold on to it because it's racist. If you pull it down, then you can build a new system that is better, that's not racist. But as long as you try to hold on to this, you see what I'm saying? But you're too scared to see what the future is. You're too scared to go into the future without holding on to holding on to Daddy, Uncle Sam, holding on to the government, holding on to this system. That system don't even support you. It ain't no good. You will come out better tearing it down and starting over. That's how it is. But you're too scared as a community to let it fall apart. That's what needs to happen. It ain't gonna get better. If you got hope, you should tell MAGA. Trump is basically a politician. Even though he's not a politician by nature, he got to play a politician's position. He can't just do it all on his own. He got to have Congress. He got to have the Democrats agree with what he's doing. Trump can't change the world, man. Let's keep it 100. I know you're desperate, but you can't. I know many of you Americans are desperate, but I want to bring you back down to reality that Trump can't change the world, bro. Trump can't save the world. So then you got to prepare for something real bad. That's just the facts. You got to prepare for something real bad because he can't save the world. So something's going to come. Other stuff is going to happen. And he's not going to be able to save the world and change the world. That's just the truth. That's just, God is real and God has intervened in this situation. I told people, man, just like your daddy would tell you, I break things down simple. You do this is what's going to happen. You do that, that's what's going to happen. I broke it down to you like a papa. You getting what you deserve. You came out here as a community, you getting what you deserve, and I can't simplify. We can't simplify this no more. No, we can't simplify this any simpler than you getting what you put out. Which spiritual people already know that principle. You get what you put out. Okay, so if you put out, no matter who you're supposed to be, including me, if you put out certain things, that's what you're gonna get, man. That's why I'm careful about my karma. I don't put stuff out there. Even though I got enemies, I still know how to fight war without messing up my karma. You gotta know how to do that. If you out here just reckless and messing up your karma, trying to fight a war, you're gonna lose, obviously. Because now, not only do that person fight against you, your own karma fights against you. Your own karma fights against you while you're trying to fight a war. See, listen, America is gonna be in the same situation. America gonna be in the same situation. They trying to fight a war and they fighting against their own karma. Because if they doing stuff underhandedly, man, and I already feel like they are. With President Maduro, I think that was underhandedly because they never explained fully why they brought him here. They are the legal right to do it. They never explained fully the legal right to bring him here. Anybody satisfied with what they said? talking about what he did and all of that, you ain't satisfied with it, are you? Well, that means they ain't tell you enough information. They ain't tell you enough. They ain't tell you everything. You know, that's just how I feel right now. That's why I wrote Maduro. I can say I'm only one of the only people like me. From this, got street background, everything, Christian, prophet, all of that. And I'm the only one that probably wrote him. Everybody see him right here in Brooklyn. He right here in the same borough. Right now. And they brought him here. Them white people brought him here. Look at the pictures. Like he was a slave. He was scared too. You know he was. He didn't know what they was gonna do to him. Think about it. If they just apprehend you, think about that. You just glad that you ain't died. But you want revenge. You know, I would. Man, yeah, I want revenge. Because the truth is, he mad at him because of all them illegal migrants coming into the country. So that's why he went over there and got him. Man, that's the whole reason he got him. The whole reason he got him, because it was because and that's what the main thing he was harping on. Talking about the illegal migrants coming from Venezuela. He been talking about that for years and years. He kept saying that same country. He the one made it relevant to us. He the one made Venezuela relevant to us. I mean, we weren't really thinking about it, you know. But he kept talking about Venezuela, bring these illegal migrants. They bringing the worst people here. That's the country he was talking about. When he always talking about, oh yeah, they bringing the worst people here. They let the worst people come here. That's the country he talking about. So finally, he got this satisfaction, this revengeful satisfaction by bringing the president of that same country up here in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn now. I would think he would be somewhere in Manhattan. Wouldn't you? Like he would be in some facilities, in Manhattan somewhere. Downtown somewhere, right? He got him here in Brooklyn. And the prophet is here in Brooklyn. You don't think it's funny? I do. It's kind of funny. I'm here and then they bringing President Maduro to Brooklyn because a New Yorker going to say, I would have thought they would have brought him to Manhattan. That's kind of funny. So they ain't got no facility to put him in Manhattan. That's kind of funny to me. You ain't think about it, did you? See, man, I don't know, man. I think when you think about the right things, man, and you're healthy, and you used to thinking about the right things, I think it kind of you're able to do it over and over again. You're able to do it easier than the average person. I just think about the right things, man. This dude is over here in Brooklyn. How is he over here in Brooklyn? He should be in Manhattan, in New York, downtown. That's weird to me. That's weird to bring a president. I think it might be racist. Yeah, put him over there in Brooklyn. Think about it though. That's just kind of funny. Like, why would they put, you're going to try to put somebody from a different country, a president, you're going to put him in lower Manhattan. You know what I mean? You're going to put him somewhere down there somewhere. Even a New Yorker would think that. If you gave them a multiple choice, a New Yorker, right? They would tell, if I gave you a multiple choice and I say, what facility is President Maduro should go to? C, Queens, B, Brooklyn, or A, Manhattan? You're going to say Manhattan. Because it feels more prominent, more proper. How he here in Brooklyn? Like he don't mean nothing, almost to say. Because, they see Brooklyn as, black people. I'm pretty sure New York do. And so they will see him as a non-white, and we're going to bring him to Brooklyn. See how I see it? Bring him to Brooklyn. He non-white. Put him on in Brooklyn. Put him in Brooklyn. Because I don't see how he ain't go to Manhattan somewhere, some facility down there somewhere. But anyway, man, I wrote him a letter. I wrote Maduro a letter and let him know all the stuff that's going on in America. I wrote him a great, good letter. Let him know all the stuff. Because he got plenty of time to think about stuff. I gave him a good letter where he could think about. And he might write me back. You know, I gave him a good letter about what's going on here in America and all of that. Man, I didn't know it was that late. And and maybe he'll write me back. I don't know. I talked to him about Jesus Christ. I can say I did that. Talk to President Maduro. See, that's my lane. That's where I'm at, man. That's why I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about nothing else, man. I'm over here writing letters to President Maduro, man. While these other people, man, you know, you must got a death wish, man. I'm talking about these secret societies over here. They got a death wish, bro. Nobody ain't think about that stuff no more, man. Either way it go. We think about America now. We ain't think about you. I'm done with you. I feel like I done beat you enough. Well, I done made myself clear to the whole community. So now I'm focused on America. That's what I'm focused on. The people that helped you do this. The people that helped you do all of this. That's who I and all the American community that helped you. That's who I'm looking to get. That's who I'm looking to get, buddy. I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about this whole community. My arms reaching long these days, buddy. You know what I mean? I serve the Lord. And nobody can't box with God, man. You can't box with God. You tried, but you can't box with God. He got that reach, buddy. Boop, 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 get back. Boop, 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 get back. Got that reach on you, buddy. Yeah, so, you know, blessings, man, to all people that support me, man. Blessings, and just keep me prayed up, man. I'm staying prayed up much as I can. You know what I mean? Fasting all the time. I'm definitely doing that, man. And just pray for me as I'm giving offerings around the world. Like, money just left and went to go to Vietnam, to a church in Vietnam. So I got that going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing going on right now. Vietnam. Next is Egypt. I'm going to be sending money to Egypt next. Yeah. Glory to God.